WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Based on our little competition, NFL competition, I am so angry because I should be 3-0.
You should,
That's
but you're
bull
not.
crap. That's
you should,
bull
but
crap.
You're not. You should, but you're not because the Eagles lost.
You're 3-0?
No, I'm 2-1.
Yeah, so am I. Because
I'm
no
1-2.
one thought the Eagles would blow that game last night.
Nope, not to the Falcons at least.
And Saquon Barkley, easy catch.
Yeah, well, he's a running back. Sometimes the running backs don't always catch the ball.
Well, you're a professional.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like you writing a news story.
Right.
You got to catch the ball, man.
Yeah, I was catching them late last night.
I'll talk a little bit about yesterday's colonoscopy at Mohawk Valley Endoscopy Center. And I'll talk a little bit. I got to tell you, I was coming in yesterday.
Yes.
And
you
then
had made that very clear to me. You do
Sunday
not want Richard
night,
being a piece of garbage.
Sunday night, I was reading through the instructions of my colonoscopy. And first of all, I didn't realize you can't eat in the morning, 24 hours before you can't eat. So I'm downstairs. It's 9 o'clock Sunday morning. I'm having eggs and some toast. I'm like, I can eat really whatever I want because I'm just going to, everything's going to be gone.
Yeah.
And then my wife came downstairs and said, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be eating. I said, yeah, I don't start everything until 2. Apparently it's all, broth and Jell-O.
The boring stuff.
And all of that through the day. So I thought I was in trouble. But then you time it out. It turns out my colonoscopy was at 9, so I really didn't get it until 10. And then they couldn't get the IV in. That took a long time, so it was really closer to 10:30. Maybe even, I don't know. They were fast, though. Anyway, but I had to do 6 o'clock. I had to do so basically clear foods, clear liquids all day. And then 6 o'clock, I had to do the treatment, the Gatorade and the Ducalax and all of that stuff.
Oh, boy.
And that goes right through you, right?
Literally, quickly, huh?
So, and I'm not trying to make it seem like this is bad. It is annoying. There's no doubt about it. It's you want to eat, you're hungry, you're ornery, you're going to the bathroom every 5 minutes. Anyway, so I had to do half of the treatment, half of the Gatorade and whatever the other stuff.
the special formula.
Half of it at 6 o'clock, and then I had to get back up at 3 a.m. and do the other half.
Oof.
So now I'm thinking, so you have to, every 15 minutes, you take another 8 ounces of the drink.
Yeah, and then you're going to the bathroom. So
and then you're
you
going
don't
to the
sleep.
bathroom. So about 5:50, I finally fell asleep. And at one point, I did wake up because I was going to sleep till like 8:40. Jump up, take a shower, and go to the endoscopy center. And your text came in, and it went right out of my mind. I'm like, there is no, I can't even respond. So I apologize.
Oh, yeah, to call it, no problem. So,
are you calling in today? Snore.
apparently not. No, but I mean, that procedure, you'd almost be afraid to fall asleep with all that's going on with you flushing your system, so to speak.
You're not going to mess yourself.
Okay, well, I just,
You should be able to wake up. You ever
Yeah.
have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night really
Not
badly?
that.
Well, have you ever
No.
had to go to the bathroom at night?
Well,
All right.
Yeah.
And you wake up, and you get up, or you hold it. There are some people who can't do that. I understand. Maybe you're one of them.
Yeah,
I
right.
don't know. Andrew. Coming up,
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Do we have all the Beatles tickets given away, or do we have, because that show's Thursday night at the Stanley. Everything's gone.
Everything's gone.
Have we given away all of the Paul McCartney tickets? Those are all gone. Elton John tickets, gone.
They were gone before they got here.
U2, gone.
At
Although
the
he's
Sphere.
not performing anymore.
U2?
Is he still
I
performing?
think they're at the Sphere.
I thought he had a problem with his voice. I don't know. Okay, you have a major story involving kids again in Utica.
Yeah, the 12 and 15-year-old. Actually, there's a couple stories that kind of broke later in the day yesterday, one of them being the fact that a 12-year-old, now this is something that the Utica Police Department and the school district have jointly released a statement on September 13th. I just want to make sure I got my dates right. On the September 13th incident, a member of the Utica City School District staff received an email from somebody threatening a school shooting. That was on September 13th. They reported it to the Utica Police Department, who began their investigation. Jumping into action, they worked with internet service providers to determine the source of that email. Tracked it back to a 12-year-old student who sent the email as a result of an incident that happened earlier in the school in the week. And the police went to that child's home, confirmed that there was no weapons, and the parents said there were no access to any. So then there was a 15-year-old on the 16th. This is a disturbing incident because the FBI actually notified the school district and Utica police of the threat on Snapchat, which is a mobile app, social media app. And there was threats against Proctor High School, JFK, and Donovan Middle School. That determined a 15-year-old boy had created the account to make the threat. Once again, they went to the home of this child, found no weapons, and the parents assured there was no access to any. So both of them, although they are 15 and 12, are facing a Class D felony making a terroristic threat, which, if you remember, the individual that had that horrific threat against Utica College, or what it was called back then, he got the book thrown at him for the threats he made. Now, this is a 12 and 15-year-old that were,
Well, it's a little different.
It's a little bit of a different scenario, but that's the same charge that these two individuals are facing. So,
and it is it's actually a lot different. It's hard to compare the two, although you just did. That was nice.
I'm not. I'm
Here's
saying,
the problem with the comparison there. He was over the age of 18. He was on the premises and making
and
these
torturing
threats
people with it. Essentially.
While like at one point he's like consoling a female in a lockdown classroom while he's the one calling in the these threats.
Well, police were actively on the campus.
I mean, so I'm similar, yes. Much different, however, I would say, not to be technical. But either way, this is just brutal. And the other part that's not similar is these are children.
Yeah, 12 and 15 years old.
It's just unbelievable. What is going on?
Like, to have the concept of, and I don't know, maybe if it's, the increase or the severity of these incidents happening around the country that is putting this into these young people's minds. Obviously, there was now police are assuring people there was no threat at any time, and there's no active threat. The school district is, however, implementing a bunch of plans and a bunch of steps to be preventative and proactive, like increased camera surveillance, installation of metal detectors and X-ray bag scanners at the middle school and high school. Continued. I'm surprised that wasn't the case before. Continued
you
close.
Wouldn't expect it.
We wouldn't need it. Yeah.
Middle school, but you do today.
Continued close partnerships with the UPD and the sheriff's office to heighten security on campuses.
What else here today? Thank you to Tim Reed yesterday for filling in here yesterday.
Saving my butt.
Tim, of course, he and I, in the midst of real men get tested for cancer, and it just so happens that's what I was in the middle of doing yesterday, and Dr. Scalar and that amazing staff over there. They're awesome, and I'll talk about them a little later on as well. Last night, Monday Night Football, we mentioned, and we'll get to our stats. There are what? Do we have 5 people or 6 people competing right now?
Including us, there's 6.
The Atlanta Falcons had to come from behind in Philadelphia to win, and they just made their way down the field almost easily and scored to take a 1-point lead in the game. And after that, it was all over. Here's the play-by-play action as it went down late last night on Monday Night Football.
Cousins looks right, has a man, touchdown, Drake London. And we are tied with the extra point to come for the lead with 30.
So then did you see the celebration penalty?
I did not know.
He was, of all times, with everything going on in the world, he held up like he was holding up a machine gun and did across the crowd, across the stadium. Immediately drew a flag. Yeah. Like, what are you thinking? Meanwhile, there's been, all of these kid shootings, school shootings. There's been another attempted assassination of the president, former president of the United States. And by the way, Marjorie Taylor Greene said she feels it's all related. There are a group of people that are out there trying to kill Trump. Well, if there are, they're really bad at what they do.
Thank God.
Right? I mean, you've got the kid who actually had the best shot, and then this wacko. Nonetheless, what are they doing last night? Anyway, here's the and they got a penalty and then kicked the extra point.
4 seconds left. No problem. Hurts gets hit as he throws and intercepted. Picked up by Jesse Bates. The Atlanta Falcons are going to leave Philadelphia with a 1-point win.
Well, you can always potentially rely on one of those interceptions when the team is trying to come back because they're doing whatever they can do.
Well,
right?
if you look at the fall from grace the Eagles had last year, the late season skid that they fell into, a lot of that had to do with the decision making of Jalen Hurts. And while I didn't watch the full game, I caught a few of the highlights. And even right there, throwing that interception, his decision making.
Yeah, but that interception, you can't count that. There was like 8 seconds left in the game or 12 seconds left in the game. They're just Hail Mary and trying to get anything they can get. That you can't count. But certainly everything that happened prior to that, and the defense that let them march right down the field. That's the only part of the game that I saw, like the last 3 minutes.
I'm just glad the Eagles lost.
Tanya J. Powers from Fox News Radio on, and today is a big day. Is this national? It is national. National Register. Today is around the country the urging of people to participate in the upcoming presidential election.
Yes. This is the day that it's a nonpartisan sort of holiday, if you will. And it is kind of to shed light on making sure your, voter registration stuff is all taken care of. It's, kind of out in plenty of time to make sure that anybody who has to, change their party affiliation or change their address or their name or whatever they need to do on their voter registration so that it's all set to go for, the November election, this is the time to check on that and do it. Matter of fact, according to U.S. Census data from 2020, as many as 1 in 4 eligible Americans are not registered to vote. And, every year people find themselves unable to vote because they missed some sort of registration deadline. They didn't update it or they're not sure how to register or whatever. This is the day that, like I said, it's kind of, there's a push that's set aside to, sort of, okay, let's all make sure this is done, and this is the day to check on it. If you go to nationalvoterregistrationday.org, that is the kind of the resource hub that you should look for, because that is where it's a great little resource, because this is where they have all of the links. All of the places for you to go that you check your own state. So you'd go on there and you'd look up New York, and it would tell you, okay, here are the links that you need to go to make sure that your, registration is still, there. It's not been, you haven't been kicked off the voter rolls for some reason or, whatever. That's the place to go.
I'm really surprised. I did not realize that voter registration deadline in New York is October 26th. That's late. October 26th.
Oh, October 26th.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be, you'd come around that date much earlier, but I think we've made it a lot easier for people to be able to register to vote. So in person, you can vote at your local election office in New York right up until October 26th. And right after that, early voting begins. Actually, it begins on that date, October 26th. So, interesting. All right, it is important. I think you hear people on both sides of the fight here. Let's not call it a fight. We don't want to have our language incendiary. On our little competition, the presidential competition. You hear people on both sides saying get out and vote or get out and register to vote.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, like you said, if you miss the deadline, then, there's not really anything you can do about it. So that's one of the reasons that there's this nonpartisan, civic holiday, so to speak. It actually started in 2012. And since then, I think their website has said that they've worked to get over 5 million Americans registered to vote in time for, the following election.
Wow.
So it's been around for a little while, but nationalvoterregistrationday.org is where you go for the resources to, like I said, you can make sure you're registered to vote. You can actually get your registration information. You can also change your name if you got married. You can, list that. You could, if you moved, all of that stuff can be accessed there.
Yeah. All right. Interesting. Okay. Good stuff there, Tanya. As always, we appreciate it. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. Tanya G. Powers from Fox News Radio. Andrew, on the NFL contest, where are the standings?
Well, so we have 6 individuals, Wayne, Jake, Larry, competing against you, me, and Davey, and we're all competing against one another. You are at 2 picks successful. 2-1.
Yeah.
Yep. 2-1 you,
I had
1
the Bills
and 2
in
me.
Chicago.
Yeah, you had the Bills in Chicago. I stupidly went with Miami, and
I should be 3-0.
You should be, but you're
Can't
not.
believe that.
So I'm probably in the worst hole at 1-2. Davey is 2-1. He picked Philadelphia, so he picked correctly Buffalo and Houston. So yeah, you're both 2-1 there. Where was the difference for? Oh yeah, because Davey picked Houston over the Bears. Wayne is at 2-1, or actually Wayne is at 1-2 because he picked the Bears and Buffalo. Jake is in the same boat as I, 1-2.
If he picked the Bears and Buffalo, he'd be 2-1.
No, the Bears lost. Oh, he picked the Eagles and the Bears. So Wayne.
Okay.
So yeah.
Right.
So he picked
right.
His successful pick was Buffalo.
Okay.
Jake is at 1-2. He had the exact same picks as I, and same with Larry. So
Davey and I are leading.
You are leading.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking right there. Nobody thought the Eagles would lose, Davey. Nobody. None of our people, anyway. All right, at the end of the day, when this is all said and done, at the end of the regular season, how much money is on the line?
$200.
$200.
Courtesy of Habaika.
$200.
Are we taking it out of the Habaika budget?
I think we will. I think that's the only way to do it. The station doesn't have any money. Mike this morning says, I get that officials don't want to release the names of the minors. I wonder if this is a bit obsolete thanks to social media because everybody knows who did it, and all you have to do is a little social media digging to find out what their names are.
That's the case with a lot of things. One of the other big stories that broke kind of last night, I believe we were the first to have it, is the fact that newly elected mayor of the village of Frankfurt has made the difficult decision to shut the doors on the village police department and allow the town to take over. And while the village was not the investigating agency of the incident at the school, here we are so many weeks later, and the town of Frankfurt have still not released any information on
3 weeks today, is it?
On
3 weeks.
The shot fired at a school incident, albeit accidental discharge. Nonetheless, it was a round that went off in a school, so we still have no information on that.
I'm not trying to make and I realize these are different agencies, but I'm not trying to make any comparison, although I am, I guess. I guess I can't say that. But
you are making a comparison.
You look at the case of the chairman of the legislature, Bob Hullum. I understand there's a lot going on there. It's a complex situation, but they made that arrest when he was walking into the chambers, into the legislature, before a meeting when everybody was upstairs and he's walking in, they made that arrest and then released it. All that information is out there. He had a gun in the back of his car with a box of shells nearby. The vehicle was abandoned and locked. He says locked and tinted windows in the back, but still, the rules are the rules, all right? He was arrested for that, and his name was immediately released. Here's someone who came in, we now know, I believe, according to KTV's reporting, is an off-duty police officer, not from Frankfurt, came in, the gun somehow fell out of his person, to the ground, and goes off, and we believe that two young kids were injured through shrapnel, if you will.
Yeah, whatever
and it's been 3 weeks and we don't have a name. So, wow. It's almost like, well, if we don't say anything, it'll go away. But that's not only on the police department, it's also on the DA's office. I mean, what are they doing down there? Why? Is there a reason? Can someone give us a reason to say, here's why we have to keep this quiet? The person is undercover for the Secret Service, and we cannot allow their name to get out.
They're an FBI informant. We cannot release that.
Anything short of that, I would think the public deserves to know. I would think. How about the village of Ilion is without power?
Mm-hmm.
And I love the mayor, Mayor Stevens. He likes to get right into the down and dirty.
Mm-hmm.
When there's a rumor on Facebook, he challenges it. Officially online, he goes right at it. The rumor that there was a fire at the substation is not true. The rumor that there was a fire here, there, and everywhere, not true. What do we know about that? But the entire village, are they still out?
So as of this morning, I'm not sure. He did speak to our very own Megan here about the power outage. I'm just looking to try to pull it up. Of course, I'm stalling terribly.
You talk, and I'll look.
I do have it right here. The village of Ilion suffering a major power outage, and the mayor addressed the rumors about what caused it. The entire village of power lost today.
Well, the mayor is saying...
Mayor Stevens debunked both rumors and clarified the elevators at London Towers did stop operating when no one was inside them.
Well, the mayor is claiming that the outage is being caused by National Grid. Right at the point where the power comes in, he's saying that that they're not getting power.
Yeah, he says...
It is not the village's problem. It is the village's problem. It's not the village's fault. It is the fault he says, of National Grid.
So in his post, which I should have just went to initially, which is in the story.
I believe there's an update there.
Whatever is going on is with the supply from National Grid before power reaches the village substations, nothing to do with village infrastructure or the 115 kilovolt feed. The 46 kilovolt feed to Remington Arms did not fail and has remained hot. The 3 o'clock time was sent by Spectrum is not information that has any validity from Grid or the village.
I don't even know what that is.
We have been given no time for power to return, and as we receive it, we will get that out to all.
All right, so there is a new update, according to Megan this morning. From the latest update on Facebook, the power is being... Let's see if we can get him on, John Stevens.
Yeah.
From the latest update on Facebook, the power is being restored one section of the village at a time, according to the Village of Ilion Facebook. So if you're living in Ilion right now, where I used to live, you are having problems with your electric and problems with your water. Andrew, you're in real estate. Not problems you want to have if you're ever selling your house.
No, you do not.
These are things you don't want. These are things you do not want. Anyway, we'll see if we can get the mayor on coming up in a few minutes. Do I need to break, or am I doing pretty good? I know, break. Actually, when you think about it, I know I'm doing pretty good.
You are doing wonderful.
I'm doing pretty well.
I could use a break.
But Andrew would like a break. I have a whole bunch more to get to, and maybe even a few phone calls. By the way, the new Mac OS is out.
Ooh.
The new iPhones are now out. And a much smarter Siri is coming out. Here's another thing. If you got one of the new watches, which run about $350, something like that, $299. If you have one of the new watches, it can monitor and detect your sleep apnea. Yeah,
interesting.
Pretty wild. Davey.
I was going to ask you, because I got the update late last night about either doing an 18 or a 17 on my phone. Update.
So do the 17 first and then do the 18.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to be skipping around.
But do them both.
Okay.
One would say you should back up your phone, whether you use iCloud or whatever, back everything up before you do the big updates. Okay? Anyway, we'll talk about that and some other stuff. A whole bunch more to get to. Stand by. Coming right back at WIBX.
You hear more and more about identity theft in the news every day. That's because so much of your personal info is out of your control, like your insurance provider that has your Social Security number and your favorite retailer that has your payment details. If they get breached, your information's vulnerable. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code PLAY at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Adirondack Home Furniture now carries Smith Brothers Furniture. Smith Brothers has been creating customized living room furniture since 1925 and is known for its high-quality, solid-built, top-of-the-line pieces. Made in America with modern technology using age-old craftsmanship, Smith Brothers offers furniture that you can have confidence in for generations. Smith Brothers is a solid and dependable brand who provide innovative furniture design with every piece. Smith Brothers is a leader in the furniture industry with their award-winning line of upholstered furniture. They have built a reputation for their value and design leadership with furniture of the finest quality. We would love for you to come and browse our extensive inventory and see for yourself. Smith Brothers, now available at Adirondack Home Furniture. Stop in today. Adirondack Home Furniture in the Riverside Center, North Utica, or at AdirondackHomeFurniture.com. Create the home of your dreams with Smith Brothers and Adirondack Home Furniture. 315-738-7817.
Carl's massive overstock clearance sale. Recliners from $199. Sofa and love seats from $299 each. Bedroom $799 or less. My Carl's New Hartford Shopping Center.
Hi, this is Rob Hilton of Hilton Estate and Elder Law with important information that you should know about planning for nursing home care.
Well, the best way, of course, is to plan ahead. The key is to make sure that you make decisions far ahead of the time that you need a nursing home. Getting the basic pieces in place, including power of attorney, healthcare proxy, will, trust, all those things, and working closely with your family to make sure you're organized and ready to go in case the worst happens.
You should also know there are strategies you can employ, even if you currently have a loved one in a nursing home.
When there's a crisis and someone's entered a nursing home, there are things we can do to act very quickly to protect some of the assets. It really does require that an elder law attorney be involved because the techniques that are used are very technical in nature.
To find out more about strategies to protect your loved ones through proper estate planning, contact us at Hilton Estate and Elder Law. Call for more information and to schedule an in-person meeting to answer your questions.
Hilton, you know the name, they know the law. Hilton Estate and Elder Law.
By now, you've probably heard of Upside, the free app that gets you real cash back at gas stations. But Upside is so much more than just a gas app. Upside lets you earn cash back at more than 85,000 grocery stores, gas stations, and restaurants, including popular national chains and local favorites. Just download the free app, claim an offer, and get real cash back on your purchase. There are no complicated points or rebates. With Upside, you can earn up to $10 cash back every time you go to the grocery store or dine out. That's up to $10 right back in your pocket on every meal out and every grocery run. The best part? You can earn on top of your credit or debit card rewards. Download Upside today. Use promo code SNACK10 and get a 10% cashback bonus on your first purchase. Get the Upside app and use promo code SNACK10 for an extra 10% cashback bonus. That's promo code SNACK10. Offers vary by user and location. Terms and conditions apply. Go to upside.com for details.
WIBX.
This is Keeler. Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
I understand. I do. All right, good morning. It's Tuesday morning, and I want to start out here with Andrew.
I'm starting fresh.
I want to start a little fresh with you.
All right, good.
And I want to tell you, have you heard about the lonesome loser?
He's a loser, but you know what the best part about that is? He keeps on trying.
He keeps on trying.
And that's the key.
And that is
like
only,
me this morning.
only in music. Only in music does keep on trying mean anything.
Right.
Okay. I want you to listen carefully.
Okay.
Partly cloudy means mostly sunny skies.
Right, yes.
Mostly sunny means even sunnier than partly cloudy.
It's like glass half full, half empty.
Today, 81 degrees, blue skies, partly cloudy. Tomorrow, 81 degrees, blue skies, partly cloudy. I'm sorry. Today, 82 degrees, mix of sun and clouds, high 82. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, 81. Thursday, sun and clouds, 81. Friday, mostly sunny, 80. Saturday, we're going to get a little dip in temperature, but it's not going to be that bad. Sun and clouds, 75. Sunday, sun and clouds, now it cools off, 69. Then Monday, sun and clouds, 70, with a few showers on Tuesday before we go back to a few more days of partly cloudy skies. Through next Thursday, we're looking at really nice weather. This weather's almost getting boring. We don't even need a meteorologist anymore. It's like Florida weather used to be.
Right.
It used to be they didn't care about their meteorologists down there because the weather's always nice.
It might
Rains
rain
in the
a couple
afternoon, boom.
Yep.
Now with all these hurricanes and everything, you got to have somebody to go out and stand in the 100-mile-an-hour wind. So this has to be the greatest stretch of weather I think I can remember in a long, long time. Or maybe ever.
It is really nice, especially going into
clear
middle
blue
of September.
skies. Clear blue skies in middle of September. It's just been beautiful. But it does look like next week and even later into the weekend, we see temperatures start to decline a little bit.
Just a little.
But not much. You're still in beautiful. It's almost like the official entrance of the autumnal equinox arrives. Fall arrives on Saturday or Sunday, whatever it is, and it's almost like the switch goes off. But not all that bad. And this whole thing going on in North Carolina where the storm is dropping a lot of rain out of North Carolina, it is going to move its way north, but it looks like it's going to go out to sea, and we're not going to see.
So was that from Francine, the remnants of Francine?
I don't think so. I think this is they're calling it an unnamed storm.
Oh, yes.
So I don't think we're going to see any of that. So stay with it. I just want to share one thing. The Tractor Supply has this thing that my father had one, and it worked really well. And he said, I was going to build a shed in my backyard. And he said, instead of a shed, for $500, you can go over to Tractor Supply. They do a shed in a bag, and it's like a little Kwanzaa hut type thing. But it has the vinyl that goes over the top.
Yeah, it's almost like a tarp material too,
right?
Yeah.
And it's good with the winter, and it'll last. And ours lasted probably 12 years.
Wow.
My old house.
Oh yeah.
Now I bought the new one, $600, 6 years ago. It was gone in 2 years. Then I bought a replacement vinyl and put it on it. It was gone in 2 years. Now, about 2 years ago, I decided I'm just going to buy the whole thing because it's almost the same price. And then at least I can reward some junk collector who likes metals and stuff. I'll put all the piping and all the stuff right out on the street, which I did. Put the vinyl on there, and the wintertime, shredded it to shreds.
Everything is made to break. Lately.
I look online, and they now have the replacements, and you can buy them in three different ways. The one that you get in the store at Tractor Supply, which is 7.5 millimeters.
Yeah.
Then you can go to 14 millimeters, or you can go to 21 millimeters for like $1,200, $1,300. So I landed somewhere in the middle, which is very thick. The tarp itself weighs 200 pounds. how I'm going to get it on top of this
structure.
I'm probably going to include Davey and Andrew to help just a little bit. Anyway, how do you switch to a piece of garbage that can't handle the wintertime and sell it in the winter? They shouldn't even sell them anymore because they do not last.
You hear about it all the time.
Garbage.
Same with appliances. You have an old.
This thing cost me, this new tarp, which I have, cost me $1,000.
That's crazy.
The original thing only was $600. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's like these appliances. Some of the older General Electric refrigerators and ovens and stoves, they're still lasting. And I kind of see it with going into old houses. Some of these old appliances, they work like so very well, but the newer ones, because they're all computer-based,
dryers,
they're built to break, right?
Yeah. We, Dave Calhoun, a great repairman for many, many years. We all rely on Dave. And he'd come into your home, and I remember we had a brand new dryer. It was just out of warranty, and it had all the, it was a front loading with all the things. It'll spray water on your face if you're warm, and
give you a massage.
And it went, the whole thing, the panel went. And he said, this new was $650. The panel is going to cost me $650. What do you think I'm going to tell you to do?
Get a new one.
Yeah. Because on top of the panel, we had to pay for his services, and it was nice of him.
Well, these companies, they don't make money if you're buying a washer, dryer, fridge every 10 years. Yeah.
Let me just
they
tell
want
you
you to buy one every 3 years.
The Maytag man is dead.
He's gone.
Okay, and after he died, they just let the whole company go to hell. You can watch the full documentary on that on Netflix. It's a short series, three episodes.
3 episodes.
Richard this morning. Bill, September is always a beautiful month in history. Every year you get a stretch of 2 weeks in September of 75 to 80 degrees, dry weather. It's normal for our area. Why people close their pools Labor Day is ridiculous. Well, part I agree with that, but it is not. I don't know of a single month, Richard, that we have any weather that we can rely on. So I'm sorry, but I disagree with you. Yes, you usually do get a couple of days where it hits in the 80s. Even we've had a couple of 90-degree days in September. But I've never seen a stretch as long as this one with blue skies. I'm sorry. So I partly agree with you, but partly disagree. In fact, you can go back and look at the record books. It'll show you. A stretch of 2 weeks? No way. This is unheard of. Sorry.
He likes to be right.
What the hell is a Kwanzaa hut, says Ralph. Well, it's all shredded in my backyard if you want to see it.
Take pictures. Easy in Ilion. Every street is torn up. Trash and codes violations everywhere in Ilion. The new place not to move to. Roads won't be fixed by winter. Going to be horrible this winter. Water leaks everywhere also.
And then Lance and Lee, this might be from yesterday. Now that I'm labeled a liberal lesbian, any shot of being read a little more...
Oh, that's from last week.
Camera time. I was just looking at red as in, I don't understand what that means.
Megan.
Oh, he likes Megan.
Yeah, he likes Megan.
Well, if you treat me like crap, Lance...
No more Megan.
No Megan for you. Okay? I could easily just yell down the hallway and say, hey, could you come here for a second?
Hey, Megan.
But no, we're not going to do that. Not going to do it. What else do I had a whole bunch more that I wanted to get to, and I'm completely out of time. Next hour, we'll speak with Dr. Hall, and I do want to ask about this issue from the debates. They're killing babies after the babies are born, and it's in the 9th month. Is this really happening? We're going to talk to Dr. Hall about that coming up.
From the Stanley Theater Studios, WIBX Utica, Rome,
W295EI,
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
All right. I wasn't supposed to do that. But I can tell you all about this. Is it possible to drive? You know the answer to this. I don't know why I even asked the question. Is it possible to drive an award-winning Mazda with 0% APR financing? You know Ricky Z, you know him well. He's a good man, and he says yes. Absolutely is. It's T. Pawnee Mazda Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Drive a new 2024 Mazda CX 5 SE model for only $285 per month on a 36-month lease. Or, yes, you can save with 0% APR financing. Check out the award-winning new 2024 Mazdas. Let's make your deal, says Rick, on a new Mazda where it's always easy to do business. Steve Ponte Mazda in Yorkville. And I'm going to tell you that you're listening to WIBX Utica, and it is 7 o'clock.
He's a very dangerous person. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what former President Trump calls the suspect in the second assassination attempt in about 2 months.
They have the man behind bars, and hopefully he's going to be there for a long time. Dangerous person, very, very dangerous person.
The former president on X Spaces also praised Secret Service for spotting the gun poking through a fence as he played golf at Trump International in West Palm Beach, Florida.
The subject, who did not have line of sight to the former president, fled the scene. He did not fire or get off any shots at our agents.
Acting Secret Service Director Ronald Rowe.
Trump is back on the campaign trail today. He'll have a rally in Flint, Michigan tonight, where local police say they'll be working with Secret Service to make sure he is fully protected.
That's Fox's Madeline Rivera. Now, former President Trump also says that President Biden called him again after the thwarted attempt and couldn't have been nicer. The president condemned political violence in Philadelphia.
In America, we resolve our differences peacefully, the ballot box, not at the end of a gun.
But the former president and other Republicans blame Biden and Vice President Harris and Democrats for campaign rhetoric calling Trump a threat to democracy. A star rapper and music producer is in federal custody right now. Sean Diddy Combs was arrested last night at a New York City hotel.
The charges against the embattled rap mogul not yet revealed. His attorney, though, telling the New York Times he believes Diddy is being charged with racketeering and sex trafficking. Now, his homes in Los Angeles and Miami were raided back in March in connection to a federal human trafficking investigation. The rapper also has several sexual misconduct allegations against him, all of which he has denied.
Fox's Todd Pyro. A fire keeps burning itself out in Deer Park, Texas, near Houston, after an SUV drove through a fence and over a natural gas valve, causing an explosion and a towering fire high in the air that sparked other fires, prompting an evacuation area that included schools and about 1,000 homes. America's listening to Fox News.
Life takes a toll on our bodies, no way around it. Whether it's sitting hours on end at your computer or working a physical job, over time, your body pays the price. There is, however, an effective way to turn back the clock on pain. Relief Factor. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor helps support your body's response to inflammation. The difference, instead of masking pain, Relief Factor helps eliminate it for good. And it's 100% drug-free. If the pains that come with living a full life are affecting you, do as so many others have. Turn back the clock on pain with Relief Factor. Their 3-week quick start is just $19.95, less than $1 a day. When you feel good, it's amazing how much more you get out of life. So visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Try it for only $19.95. While we can't stop aging, not yet, we can stop pain. Turn back the clock with Relief Factor.
TikTok is fighting to survive in the U.S. The social media app went to federal court to challenge a law that could lead to TikTok being banned if the company does not cut its ties to China.
A 3-judge federal appeals court panel heard arguments from both sides Monday, TikTok arguing the law passed by Congress violates their First Amendment rights and those of their users. Federal prosecutors said speech isn't being targeted, but national security is, pointing out that TikTok's code is made in China, where parent company ByteDance is based. But attorneys for TikTok argued that much of the curation or expression is done in the United States, and that's the speech that needs protecting. One of the judges told TikTok their argument was a bit strange in that Congress did what Congress does, it legislated. And he said TikTok was asking the court to treat Congress as if it were some agency. An attorney for TikTok insisted it was an unusual law. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
The Federal Reserve will be assessing the economy, starting a 2-day meeting expected to end tomorrow with an interest rate cut. On Wall Street, stock futures are rising the day after the Dow closed at a new record high. On Monday Night Football, a comeback win for Atlanta in Philadelphia to close out Week 2 of the NFL season.
Cousins looks right, has a man, touchdown, Drake London. And we are tied with the extra point to come.
On ESPN, Drake London's 7-yard touchdown catch came with a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against London, which pushed the extra point attempt back 15 yards. Still, Young Hoeku kicked the 48-yard extra point, and the Falcons then intercepted Jalen Hurts to seal the comeback win over the Eagles, 22-21. Both teams' records 1-1.
That's Fox's Jared Max. In baseball, the Mets won and the Braves lost, so New York takes a 1-game lead over Atlanta in the playoff race for the last National League wild card. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time, 7:05. I'm Andrew Derminio. This update brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Right now we have partly cloudy skies and 56 degrees. Your full weather forecast is coming up. 2 Utica City School District students have been arrested after being accused of making threats. On Friday, a staff member received an email sent by a 12-year-old student that threatened to carry out a school shooting. Yesterday, the FBI notified the district about a separate threat made by a 15-year-old student on Snapchat that mentioned Donovan Middle School, Proctor High School, and JFK Middle School. Both students are charged with a felony, and the district is boosting school security as a precaution. More details at WIBX950.com. More help is now being offered to residents in Madison, Oneida, and Oswego counties impacted by severe weather. Applications are available for income-eligible homeowners who had their property damaged by storms that impacted the area between July 10th and 16th and August 9th through the 10th. Funding up to $50,000 can be used for emergency home repairs that would make a residence safe, habitable, and sanitary. Grants are available on a first-come, first-served basis, and the application deadline is October 7th. The mayor of the village of Frankfurt, Justin Smithson, says he has made the difficult decision to start the process of closing the doors in the village police department. All of the duties in policing will be taken over by the town of Frankfurt Police. He says the Frankfurt Village Police budget is 26% of the village's total budget, and it is not maintainable. You can read the full story at WIBX950.com. We'll speak to Mayor Smithson coming up this morning on First News with Keeler. Fans of the Syracuse University football team who have not bought tickets to this week's game may want to hurry up and do so. SU said yesterday regular lower bowl tickets in the 100 level are completely sold out, and limited premium option seats remain in the 200 and 300 levels. The undefeated Orange are hosting the Stanford Cardinal at the JMA Wireless Dome on Friday. Kickoff for the contest is scheduled for 7 p.m. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says the latest investigation into his dealings with wildlife is part of the, quote, weaponization of our government. Kennedy was at an Arizona campaign event Saturday for former President Trump, where he told the crowd he's being looked at for, quote, collecting a whale specimen 20 years ago, end quote. His daughter told Town & Country magazine in 2012 that her father cut a whale's head off after it washed up on shore in Massachusetts. Apparently, the National Marine Fisheries Institute sent a letter to NOAA urging an investigation. Kennedy has previously acknowledged he dumped a dead bear cub in New York City's Central Park over a decade ago. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time, 7:08. Your weather forecast is a nice one. It's calling for sunny skies today. Temperatures will be in the low 80s. We'll see partly cloudy skies overnight with a low in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies return with a high in the low 80s, and then we'll see temperatures in the 80s throughout the rest of the week, and then temperatures fall into the low to mid-70s over the weekend. Right now, we're at 56 degrees under partly cloudy skies at 7:08. Sports brought to you by IBEW Utica 43 local contractors. The Falcons staged a game-winning drive to come back and beat the Eagles 22-21 on Monday Night Football from Philadelphia. Kirk Cousins and the offense marched 70 yards in just over a minute, which ended with a 7-yard touchdown pass to Drake London to tie the game. Philly got the ball back with 34 seconds left, but Jalen Hurts threw an interception to Jesse Bates to end the game. Atlanta is now 1-1 on the season and will host the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. Philly shares the same record and visits the Saints on Sunday, and the Saints are red hot. The Panthers are making a change under center. Head coach Dave Canellis indicated on Monday that the team is benching former first-round overall pick Bryce Young to start veteran quarterback Andy Dalton. The decision comes less than 24 hours after Canellis declared Young the starter for Carolina's upcoming game against the Vegas Raiders. The 23-year-old will be the first quarterback selected with the top pick benched for non-injury reasons in his second season. The Panthers are last in the NFC South at 0-2. To baseball, the Mets rallied for a 2-1 walk-off win over the Washington Nationals to open their three-game series at Citi Field. Starling Marte drove in the game-winning run with an RBI single in the bottom of the 10th. Reed Garrett was credited with the victory after pitching a scoreless top of the 10th. New York is now in the last NL wildcard spot at 82-68 and will continue their series tonight in Queens. And the Yankees begin their final road trip of the regular season on the West Coast. They will be late games, unfortunately. They've won 4 of their last 5 games, entering their series opener against the Mariners at T-Mobile Park. Luis Gil is slated to make his 27th start of the season. They're 3 games up on the Orioles in first place in the AL East. It's 87-63. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time, 7:11.
Okay, I've got Richard going at it. Can I just
sure?
Get a little bit
Let's hear
Richard,
it.
Good morning. Good morning. So Richard had said, I don't know what you're talking about. September is always a beautiful month in history. Every year you got a stretch of 2 weeks in September, 75 to 80 degrees dry. So the reality is, I didn't say that, Richard. I said, I don't know the last time we've seen a stretch of like 2 weeks of temperatures with completely blue skies and low to mid 80s.
Yeah, it's just been gorgeous.
This is
It was
unheard
hot
of.
yesterday.
And I know it because I'm a pool junkie. And every time you hit September, you could barely make a go of it because you got to keep running the heater, and that can get very, very expensive. So I just want to, just for a moment, he said you should do, can I read his comment here?
Yeah, go right ahead.
So I guess we've never had a drought, too. First of all, I had said nothing about a drought. September is always our driest month. Do your due diligence before you get critical like you always do.
That's his comment, or you're saying that?
That's his comment to me.
My God.
What the hell are you talking about? Okay, so here's what I want to do. I go to cnyweather.com. They have been doing this since 2006 out of a weather station in Westmoreland. So I'm just going to go. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Average temperature. Now, the part where he's right is we do not get a lot of rain traditionally in September. But I didn't say anything about rain. I just said blue skies, low to mid 80s. We've had a stretch of almost 2 weeks of that.
It's been very nice.
It's been beautiful. Average temperature this year in September so far has been 67 degrees. We have had 0.04 inches of rainfall, and that came earlier in the month. Our maximum temperature is let's see, for 2024. Well, we've been in the 80s, whatever that is. But when you look down through September of 2023, the average temperature last year, average temperature was 60 degrees. Can I go back even further?
Go on back.
September 2022, the average temperature in September was 61 degrees. Going back to September of 21, the average temperature was 62 degrees. And going back to September of 2020, the average temperature in the month of September, including the cooler weather we had at the beginning of the month, remember that's included here, the average temperature was a little bit warmer at 67 degrees back in 2020. And as I said, our average temperature so far with colder weather for the first week and a half, 2 weeks of maybe the first week of September, the colder... Remember that end of August, Labor Day area?
Yeah,
it was cold.
Yeah.
We're even warmer than that. Almost 69 degrees is our average temperature for September so far. So I realize there's still more time left in the month and things are going to cool off a little bit. But, Richard, you take things so personally. You shouldn't.
He does. He's very
You're
thin-skinned.
okay. Look in the mirror and say to yourself, I'm smart. I believe in myself. I love myself.
I make really good cheesecakes.
I make good cheesecakes. I'm just not all that great with the weather sometimes. And if you do that once a morning, you will feel better about yourself.
Self-affirmation. It's a beautiful thing.
Coming up, we're going to talk to Dr. Kent Hall. And, normally Dr. Hall does not go political, nor will he today. We're going to go statistical, what he knows about medical. And you are hearing people say, well, there are 6 states in this country that have no limits on abortion. And there are cases where children are being aborted after the 9th month, after they're born. Well, that would be killing a baby, wouldn't it? What's going on here? What's the real truth, minus the politics? And we'll get into it coming up here with Dr. Hall.
Carl's massive overstock clearance sale. Recliners from $199. Sofa and love seats from $299 each. Bedroom $799 or less. My Carl's, New Hartford Shopping Center.
You hear more and more about identity theft in the news every day. That's because so much of your personal info is out of your control, like your insurance provider that has your Social Security number and your favorite retailer that has your payment details. If they get breached, your information's vulnerable. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code PLAY at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
I got my together. I got my together.
I got my together.
Just say it. You can get your shots together too. Your COVID-19 shot and your flu shot at the same visit as recommended by the CDC. I got my shots together. Ask your healthcare provider about getting this season's COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both.
Are you getting your together?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Whitesboro Central School District is looking for bus drivers to join their team now. Whitesboro is a leading school system in central New York with 7 schools, 3,100 students, and a 92% graduation rate. You can help drive our students' success. When you drive for Whitesboro, you get pay that's based on your experience, great benefits, a flexible schedule, and summers off. Call Andy at 315-768-9740 or stop by the garage, 20 Wood Road, Whitesboro.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first time Nana moments.
Yeah, welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Carl's massive overstock clearance sale. Recliners from $199. Sofa and love seats from $299 each. Bedroom $799 or less. My Carl's, New Hartford Shopping Center.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first time Nana moments.
Yeah, welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
You hear more and more about identity theft in the news every day. That's because so much of your personal info is out of your control, like your insurance provider that has your Social Security number and your favorite retailer that has your payment details. If they get breached, your information's vulnerable. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code PLAY at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I have a serious heart condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, or HCM. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. I still had symptoms on my beta blocker, so I asked my cardiologist about any treatment advances. It was a breakthrough for me. That's why I'm working with Bristol Myers Squibb to raise awareness about HCM and to help others like me. Talk to your cardiologist today and visit hcmrealtalk.com for more information.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Well, good morning. It's Tuesday. Another beautiful day on the way. First day of fall is this Sunday, and there's a story up on our website about when do we move the clocks forward. Andrew, when do we move the clocks forward?
It's coming up.
Name the month. Do you remember the month?
October.
No, it's actually March. We move the clocks.
Oh yeah.
See what I did there?
No, you spring ahead, you fall back. So we don't put the clocks back in March. We put them ahead.
I said, when do you put the clocks forward? And
I thought you said when you said back.
Don't try to don't be a Richard here.
Do your due diligence.
I only am bringing that up because when I wrote the whole story, I realized that I had written, when do we spring forward? And if it weren't for my wife to correct me and say, I think it's March.
We all need good proofreaders in our life.
So we fall back, and that is November this year, by the way. November. It'll be after Halloween that we fall back by 1 hour. Let's see. Tom. This is Tom saying, there are, according to Axios, 6 states have no limits on when a child can be killed in an abortion, even post-birth. So when I read stuff like this, doesn't it seem a little difficult to comprehend that there's a doctor out there that's like, you don't want to be pregnant anymore and you just had the baby, we'll kill it for you. Doesn't that seem odd? In America in 2024. I'm not even sure that would be good. In 1824, we would hope that that's not going on. So my guess is there are some very unique circumstances which I know nothing about. And I just want to know, you hear the rhetoric from both sides of the aisle. My guess is somewhere in the middle there's truth, and I wonder what it is. So we'll bring in somebody who knows. Dr. Kent Hall on the line right now. Doc, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good. First, I want to tell you that I know you're no longer with MVHS, but I was at the Smart Valley Endoscopy Center yesterday for colonoscopy with Dr. Scalar, and that staff over there is amazing. They get you in, they make you feel comfortable, and you're on your way. And it's such a responsible thing to do, to go in and have a colonoscopy to make sure that you do not die from colon cancer.
No, you're
or at least give yourself a fighting chance. So.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right, and the staff there is really wonderful. I had a colonoscopy there myself, and it was, they are really very, very nice, very caring people. So,
and they know what they're doing. That's very important when getting a colonoscopy. So you understand we're in the middle of a political campaign. Boy, the rhetoric is just at an all-time peak, it seems. And so the question is, 6 states have no limits on when a child can be aborted. What does this mean? What is this story all about? And when the former president said the other day, they're killing babies after they're born in the 9th month. What do we know about this?
Yeah, so without getting into the rhetoric, because I think you're right. I think the rhetoric on both sides is just so amped up. It is really difficult to understand what reality is. But what I would say is that there are what are termed late term abortions, although the definition of late term itself is not entirely clear. So the one that I use is if it's after 21 weeks. So that's basically the second half of the pregnancy.
At that point, a healthy child a fetus could be born premature.
So actually, no. There hasn't been a documented case of a live pregnancy of a baby being born before 24 weeks without having significant, usually neurologic problems.
Okay, all right. I didn't know that.
So, and the reality is that the vast majority of them before 24 weeks die, like 99.9% die. I think there was one case of one that was born before that actually lived, but again had significant neurologic problems.
Okay.
So 24 weeks is considered the threshold for viability. Which is interesting because I can tell you that when I did my pediatric internship in 1982, 24 weeks was the date of viability then too. So we really haven't been able to figure out how to help kids that are born before that. So a late-term abortion technically, or in general, is felt to be about 21 weeks or later, about halfway through the pregnancy, the second half of the pregnancy. There are two broad categories as to why late-term abortions occur. The first is because of significant problems with the mom, medical problems where if she continued to carry the pregnancy on, there's a high likelihood that she would have significant medical issues up to and including death. And the second category is because there are anomalies, fetal anomalies, things like lack of brain development and things like that, which unfortunately can't be found until the fetus has gotten to a point where they have developed enough to be able to see it on ultrasound and things like that. So those things are not found until the second half of the pregnancy. And that means that you're going to have basically a non-viable fetus. And so then it's a conversation between the obstetrician and the woman to say, how do we want to handle this? We know that the child is not going to survive, outside of the uterus. So what should we do with this? And that's a very difficult conversation to have. As you can imagine, and some decide to carry to term and deliver, and then the baby dies, very shortly thereafter. Others decide that they're going to terminate because they just can't fathom, carrying a child through to 40 weeks, and then having that be the ultimate outcome. So those are the two broad categories. There is no. Killing a baby that has been born is called infanticide. It is murder, and that just doesn't happen. I shouldn't say that. I'm sure it has happened somewhere.
Well, there was somewhere there was there was a governor in in Virginia who actually talked about who I believe may have been a doctor. I don't know. But he was talking about the rare instances, extremely rare instance, where something could happen, but it had a lot of conditions, and it was between the mother and multiple doctors. So I don't know what that is.
So I think that there was a law that was proposed, and now you're getting outside of my knowledge base, but I believe there was a law that was proposed in Virginia, which would have required a consultation with, I think, 3 doctors, with a mother and 3 doctors to decide what to do. But I think that was again about late-term abortions. I don't.
So Northam, Megan actually sent us an article from Reuters referring to this. Ralph Northam was the governor of Virginia, referring to, yes, there was the proposed bill. Bill HB 2491. His comment was referring to third trimester abortions that are done in cases, quote, where there may be severe deformities, there may be a fetus that's non-viable, he said. If a mother is in labor, I can tell you exactly what would happen. The infant would be delivered. The infant would be kept comfortable. The infant would be resuscitated if that's what the mother and the family desired, and then a discussion would ensue between the physicians and the mother.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens, and honestly, and from my point of view, that's exactly what should happen. Is that if the baby has been born, but is non-viable, is not going to be living, then it is a conversation. How do we manage this? What do you want us to do? How can we support you? How can we support the baby? So, yeah.
Well, I'm assuming the baby just born can be put on some sort of life support. And that is a debate that we all have when we're older as well. So you say you believe there are no cases, unless maybe it includes possibly this extreme case, there are no cases where they are killing babies after they were born in the 9th month.
No, that truly is murder. That is infanticide, and that goes under the penal code, I guess. But no, there aren't doctors who are doing that. Again, there may be somebody who's doing something illegal,
right?
But it is not a recognized method of caring for either a mother or a baby that the medical community would accept.
So I can see where this would become very, very complicated in the case. So let's say there's a case where the baby is not viable, and the child is being born, and the decision is made to protect the mother. But now you're dealing with a child that is in the 9th month and is alive, allowing it to die versus aborting it at that point. Aborting it would be really considered, according to the law. You don't need abortion laws. That would be murder, right?
So if the baby has been born and is, existing outside of the uterus, then it is, it is
a human being, a child.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So yes. So in that case, if it is born and it is outside and it is, otherwise viable and doing well, there are no, neurologic problems. It is expected that it could survive. Then that you can't just kill somebody because you want to kill them.
Yeah, so. And obviously this issue is a heated issue for a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. In many cases, religion plays a role in all of this. But it is. Would you agree? And this is for Lance and Lee. I just want to get a professional opinion. Would you agree that for many people, this is a big issue in the upcoming election?
So it certainly seems like it is, although I'm not sure that what we're talking about now in terms of, late-term abortions.
Versus just abortion in general. Yeah.
I think abortion in general is a big topic in the election, and it is the difference between, the right for the right of the mother to choose, or the right of the woman to choose what goes on with her body versus, the right of a fetus to be able to, be born and have a life. Those are the two fundamental questions. And you're right; it has to do with religion, and it has to do with ethics and your own moral view of things. And so, really, that to me is a very personal. And honestly, legislating that is very difficult.
Yeah, so, well, it's certainly. Listen, I'll never forget that one Thanksgiving dinner when it was said to me, "Where do you stand on abortion?" And I said, "Shut up and eat your stuffing."
Pass the turkey.
Pass the turkey and the cranberry sauce and shut up, please. Because it is not an argument. And people are, I do think people's opinions change over the years, maybe as they get older. But the reality is, it is not an argument you want to have with people. I do think as time has gone on, the people who are pro-choice over pro-life have increased, and younger people especially. And that's why I think you're seeing it's being such a big issue for Democrats this year. So we'll see. We'll see what comes of all of it. Doc, I don't mean to drag you in. I didn't drag you into politics. I dragged you in to medicine. So we appreciate that.
No, I'm glad to do it. And I guess what I would say is about the Thanksgiving dinner is, if you're going to have an argument because you want to change somebody's opinion, that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
But if you want to actually have a conversation where you can hear the other person and understand where they're coming from, that I think shows respect for their people, even if ultimately you agree to disagree. At least you can hear what the other person has to say and why they feel the way that they feel, and hopefully that's reciprocal. That both sides do that. In which case, that is the kind of conversation that I think would be good for this country, which is not happening now.
You're right.
There's my political statement for the day.
Yep. And I am completely in agreement. It is not happening now. All right, Doc, as always, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful week.
Thank you. You too, everybody. Have a great day, and please be safe.
Thanks. Do you want to add to that?
No, I'm good.
Okay. You don't want to, but would you agree with me on this? Thanksgiving is not the.
No, that's not.
It's
the time
the upcoming
to do it.
holiday.
There's too many sharp knives and carving things, and
you've already cut open a turkey. That knife could easily find its way being used in another nefarious way. So don't even go
want
there.
that. We do not
listen,
want that.
Coming up, we'll do Hobike's free money question of the day, and then Tina Martin, head of security and fraud investigations at Berkshire Bank, making some warnings out there to beware
of the fraudsters.
And we'll get to Tina coming up in a few minutes. Hobike's free money question of the day. Davey, this morning, we are giving away potentially how much money?
$200.
$200.
Getting a little generous there this morning.
And your calling number is?
6.
6 caller right now at 315-736-0186. $200 on the way from the Hobike Law Firm. Be calling number 6 right now at WIBX.
Carl's massive overstock clearance is on. Our loss is your gain. Carl's is jam-packed with inventory. We must make room now. Unbelievable deals like dual reclining sofa and love seat sets, $4.99 each piece. Recliners from $1.99. Sofa and love seat sets from $2.99 each piece. Sofa sleepers from $5.99. Complete bedrooms $7.99 or less. Plus, no credit needed financing is available during a massive overstock clearance on now at Carl's Wholesale Furniture Warehouse. Shop more amazing deals online at mycarls.com.
This is Bill Cole from Gates Cole Insurance. Finding insurance coverage can be an overwhelming undertaking. As your local independent insurance company, we work hard for you to get the best coverage.
My name's Timothy Dean. I'm from Taberg, New York. I have Dean's Concessions. I travel throughout New York State. I have been a customer for over 20 years, personal with Gates Cole. And ever since I've started my business for the last 18 years have been solely with Gates Cole Insurance. As I have to call them from time to time to get certificates, and they take in within 15-20 minutes. We have a certificate. Gates Cole has exceptional customer service. They're there for you, and I have referred people to Gates Cole, and those people that have transferred over to Gates Cole have been very happy with their services.
This is Tom Cole. For insurance for your home, auto, business, and just about everything else, trust your local independent insurance agency. Gates Cole Insurance. We'll take care of you.
Hey everyone, Lisa here from Fit Body Bootcamp in Whitesboro and Clinton. Are you ready to fall back into that fitness routine? As the seasons transform, why not transform your fitness goals too? Here at Fit Body Bootcamp, we can help you create those healthy habits, and yes, our coaches are ready to help you lose the weight for the very last time. What are you waiting for? Join us today for free because we are the best of the best fitness center for 3 years in a row. Call us or find us on Facebook to start your journey.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
You hear more and more about identity theft in the news every day. That's because so much of your personal info is out of your control, like your insurance provider that has your social security number and your favorite retailer that has your payment details. If they get breached, your information's vulnerable. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code PLAY at LifeLock.com. Terms apply. apply.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-467-2766. 800-467-2766. 800-467-2766. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Shop with confidence at Mattress Express with our brand name low price guarantee. When you buy a mattress at
Team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick. Morning Kick is a revolutionary new formula that combines all my favorite supplements into one daily drink.
Morning Kick has probiotics to help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and powerful anti-aging supplements. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, and helps manage stress.
I look and feel better than I have in years.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com, use code SUPPORT or text SUPPORT to 511-511 and claim 40% off. Roundhouseprovisions.com, code SUPPORT.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee. You can be feeling these changes within just a couple of days.
Text SUPPORT to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
This is Keeler in the Morning. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
All right, here we go. Navy has selected the amount of money. We're talking about $200 on the line. Am I missing something that it was yesterday that you actually caught John in Bridgewater?
Yes, we haven't got into this.
Trying to use Siri to answer the question.
He did, and he didn't even try to deny it. He just kind of brushed off our calling him out on it.
That might actually, John, just so you know, that might improve once, if you have an iPhone, well, if you have Siri, yes. Once you update the new software on the iPhone, which is now out, because they begin to use, probably by Christmas time, it'll be almost all in effect, but they're beginning to use AI. And I believe it's Chat GPT they're using.
You may be able to.
You might be able to beat us. You might be able to beat us.
Beat the clock.
Beat the clock.
That's why we have a clock.
Remember the old contest called Beat the Clock? Mm-hmm. That's what we do here. Good morning. Good morning. It is Christine in Frankfurt.
Hello. Good morning.
Hello. You're all business.
Very excited.
Are you ready?
Well, yeah, I'm good enough's coworker, but I'm way back in the lockers, so nobody can hear me or see me.
So you were witness to the cheating yesterday.
No comment.
Oh,
that is
We
funny.
tried to tell him, John, there's a delay. It ain't going to work, but that's him.
That is true. What he's trying to do is to get the little speaker you have on your phone to be able to be heard by Siri.
I can't believe this. Yeah. I cannot believe that we're learning this about John.
This is for $200 right now. $200.
Come on.
And wouldn't it be great to be like, I got on and I won. I don't know what's wrong with you, John.
I didn't even need Siri.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. I would love it.
Here is your question. You'll have exactly 7 seconds to answer. And here we go. Robert Caudry is famous for creating the first what? Ready, go.
Baseball bat.
The Caudry bat.
I have no idea.
See, that's a good guess. You throw it out, you don't know.
You got it.
You hope that it's the answer.
This is a tough question, by the way. Robert Caudry created the first ever dictionary, known in the world as the person who created the first dictionary. Well, whatever, right? That's what I'd say.
Thank you.
Whatever. Listen, we will
winning.
give you the all-in-one food and fun card. It's a $25 gift card. If you go to see Box Lacrosse this week, starting on Friday, it would be good. Or at Aquavino, Taylor and the Cook, Babes, where they have a great brunch on Saturdays and Sundays. Stand by, because Davey's going to take care of you there, okay?
Thanks a lot, guys.
All
Have
right,
a good
Christine. Say,
All right, you too.
Say hi to John the cheater.
You cheated, John.
Good one.
All right, thanks. Hold on. Davey, you got her. Berkshire Bank, America's most exciting bank. On the line right now, Tina Martin is with Berkshire, and so there have been some warnings on some scams, and I got to tell you something. We were caught. Number one, we were caught in a scam that was very involved, a lot of pressure,
Sophisticated, yeah.
very sophisticated, and I find myself we go through courses here. I don't know how I fell for it, except for it involved two parties. Beware of this. The husband is on the phone, says something to the wife. The wife gets on the phone, assumes what the husband said was true. You are now going down the rabbit hole. In this case, it was my son. I gave him a phone number to call. It was a bad number for a student loan. He got the person on the line. They were on. She was trying to help him. She put me on the line. Then I put him on the line. And then when we came back, guess what I did?
Yeah.
Gave her my checking information.
Yes, she did.
And I had to
fell
have
for it.
everything canceled. What a pain in the neck that is. Tina Martin, good morning. Sorry for that intro, but I just thought I'd throw that in there. Good morning, Tina.
Good morning. Thank you for having me here.
So
Good morning.
terrible, right? I mean, this stuff is getting so very good, and it's very difficult.
Yes, it is. The scammers spend all the day long while we're working an honest job. They're working to figure out ways to get around people. So they are very creative. They, a lot of people think about the old time scams where, you could tell because, it was, you could tell that they didn't maybe speak English well. There were typos in the text, those kind of things. All that's gone away. The criminals are using AI, like you were talking earlier. They're using AI to make the scams seem more plausible, more elaborate, cleaner. It's becoming very, very difficult to tell what's a scam and what isn't a scam.
And you think, well, they would never do any research on you. They're calling from way far away. Well, with Facebook and everything else, they do. They can learn things about you. But you don't even need Facebook today. There's so much out there. You can go to some of these sites and get a lot of information, and all you need is just enough to make it seem legitimate.
Correct. It's actually called data mining. So people need to understand that just about everything about you is out on the internet. It's somewhere out there, whether it's on the legitimate internet or on the dark web. It is out there. Your personal information, your background information, everything is out there. So that's where you have to be so careful not to trust what they're saying to you.
Yeah,
it's a terrible thing for us to have to mistrust everyone, but you have to take take precautions and protect yourself.
One area too that I think you have to be careful of is, one of the things that I do is immediately go online, get the number of if it's Berkshire Bank, someone's calling from Berkshire, I would go online or go on our app, and figure out what the local phone number is for Berkshire and call them directly. But you got to be careful because sometimes you can pick up a bad number online.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Honestly, I tell people not to go online, to go to your bank statement or to your card, your debit card. Don't... The number is out there legitimately, but you have to weed through all the wrong numbers as well.
Yeah.
And you have to also understand that if the phone call that's coming to you says it's Berkshire Bank in this scenario, it may not be, because they also can do IP. It's voice over IP. It's basically they mask the number. So they'll be calling from a number, and they can put any identifier on their phone call. So they can say, I'm calling from Berkshire Bank. I'm calling from KeyBank. I'm calling from Chase. So you can't assume that because your phone is saying it's Berkshire Bank, that it really is Berkshire Bank.
I think the biggest shock I had with a scam, well, the biggest one was the one we got caught with. But that was very interesting because it was my son. I'm thinking he's legitimizing this whole situation. Then I would call, and it seemed legitimate, and by the time we were done, here I am giving my checking account number. But I'll never forget, maybe 3 years ago, I received a phone call from myself. The ID had my phone number and my name.
That's
How about
crazy.
That was nuts. I'm like, how did they do that? But you're
They
right.
were probably trying to call your son.
They probably were, right? He'll give up all the information. All right, some examples. Do you have any examples of what people should be worried about right now?
All right, so there's certain ones that never go away. The phone calls, text messages, those things. So the grandparent scam. And when I say grandparent scam, it's not always a grandchild that the issue is. It could be a daughter, a niece, a nephew. It's really a family friend scam. And they do the thing that you were saying about pressure. You know, it's urgency. They're pressuring you to take the money. People need to try to step back, and I know it's very hard because you're now very emotionally involved, but you have to try to step back and say, you know, and one of the things, and this is going to sound very difficult to do in the heat of the moment, but, you know, say it's Johnny calling. You think it's Johnny calling. You go, is that you, Johnny? Well, you've just given the scammer your grandson's name.
Right.
So you know, is that you? And then ask things that are false. So, you know, Johnny, you think Johnny's calling, and you'll say, Johnny, is George with you? There is no George. And if they say yes, you know it's a scam.
Right.
You know, try to trip them up or ask something that only the real person is going to know. But again, don't get me wrong. At the heat of the moment, you're scared, you're frustrated. It's hard to think of those kind of things. If they're saying that they've been imprisoned or anything like that, call the police.
Yeah.
The police will be able to figure out whether your person is really. Also, call your person. You know, it says it's your grandson. Call your grandson. They're going to say, don't tell mom and dad. That's a big tip-off right there.
Yeah.
If I was a grandchild and I'm in prison, I'm going to call my parents. I'm not going to call, So those are the kind of things that you have to kind of tip off on. The romance scams. That's a big one.
Yeah, that's
and
huge.
It's really, you have to, one of the things is a huge red flag is that they never want to meet or get on a video call. The thing is, we go out on dating sites to date.
Right.
Why would you make a communication and never meet this person? And then as soon as they ask for money, if they ask for money, it is, I will tell you now, it's 100% a scam.
Yep.
People do not go out on dating sites
and ask for money.
This way. Legitimate people do not go out on dating sites.
Well, when you go on a dating site, you're really trying to sell yourself, right? And one of the worst ways to sell yourself is to ask the person that you don't really know for money, right? I mean, it's just, a red flag. Yeah.
And then the other one is impersonation scams. That's where the caller it's a caller, a text, an email, where they're claiming to be somebody or some institution, such as financial institution scam,
student loan.
FTC. The Federal Trade Commission is the good people, but they'll claim that they're from the Federal Trade Commission. They'll claim that they're from the FBI, Social Security, those kind of things, Post Office.
I get, I hate to say, but I get a ton of these, and you're right. It'll come up on your caller ID as the FBI or the federal government or
Post
the IRS
office.
or the post office. What should you do when someone calls you? You answer the phone, and there's no one else on the other line.
Yeah,
should you keep saying
a lot.
Hello? Should you just automatically hang up? And what can they do with that call?
Okay, so my suggestion, hang up.
Hang up.
If it's really a legitimate call, they're going to call back. The thing is, we talked about AI. One of the things that they're doing now is they're actually taking snippets of your voice.
Right.
And this is the really scary part. They can just take a short snippet of your voice and then use computer programs to make that say anything they want including inflection. So it can be, they'll take, listen to your news program. I hate to tell you this, but they might be doing this, and record your voice, and then call your wife and say, in your voice, I've been kidnapped, and it's going to sound terrifying. They'll make the voice sound like you're scared and terrified to create reactions in the person that they're calling. So that's the why. And the thing about the yes is if they call and they say, is this Bill? And you say yes, they can use that recording to set up like accounts and things with your recorded yes.
Wow.
And then when you try to dispute that, they'll say, well, we got your voice saying yes. So if they say, is this Bill? You'll say, what can I do for you? Or something like that.
Who's asking?
Yes. Because they will use that.
Yeah.
I sometimes go into a completely...
because it's a habit.
I sometimes go into a completely different voice. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. William.
William. Right now, we are kind of lucky. Right now, I mean, it's bad. Don't get me wrong. But right now, we are kind of lucky because there are little things like, when you're getting one of those calls, there's a pause because it's a bank of probably people. And then the call's going to that person.
Right.
It takes them a moment to answer it. And so there's that pause that gives you a cue. There are little things, little quirky things. Sometimes the way they sound isn't quite natural. But, man, if they're this good now, in 2 years, in 5 years, it's going to get worse.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. It is going to get worse.
Any other questions, Andrew?
So the important thing is to put precautions in place,
Okay.
So some precautions. First thing, and I tell this to everyone because I'm also the ID theft officer at the bank, put credit freezes on all your credit profiles. Even if you have children, put it on theirs. When I started this job, over 50% of school children had already had their identity compromised.
Wow.
So put it on your children, put it on everybody, put it on friends, enemies that you don't hate too much. Credit freezes will protect you at least when it comes to loans, mortgages, those kind of things. Never, ever give your online username and password, your online banking username and password. No legitimate company, including the bank, will ever ask for that. So if they ask for that, immediate fraud.
Okay.
Change your passwords. When I say on your accounts, not only on your online banking account, but also on your email. Because a lot of times when it comes to online banking takeovers, they use your email. They have taken over your email and then started communicating through your email to your financial institution. So on a regular basis, and I don't know whatever that regular basis is that you're comfortable with, but to change your account passwords. Again, don't answer phones that you don't recognize. If it's a call that you don't recognize that number, don't answer. If it's legitimate, they're going to leave a message and you can call them back. If they keep calling and never leave a message, I call it 3 strikes, you're out. If they've called the third time and never left a message, I block the call, block the number.
Yeah, you can do that right on your phone now and block it. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Super
all right.
Easy. Unfortunately, if you have a landline, it's a little more difficult.
Yeah.
And never click on a link that you did not initiate the conversation. So if you suddenly get a link in a text message or an email that you did not ask for, don't click it.
They like to scare you, too. They like to scare you saying your credit card has now been charged such and such an amount of money. And, it's really rough.
They're always working hard to scam people.
All right. Is there a place people can go? Do you guys have a website at Berkshire with some tips?
Yes, we have tips on our Berkshire Bank website. Also, go to the Federal Trade Commission. The Federal Trade Commission is very big on fighting fraud. They will, and everything on Federal Trade Commission is free. You can go out there, cruise around, check it out. And other organizations, AARP, those places,
use them as well.
They all have fraud
All right.
scenario.
All right. Well, Tina Martin, thank you so much, and we appreciate the advice.
Thank you for having me.
You have a great day. Thank you so much. Here's a little something to remember here. Check this out.
Kathy Hochul. My social security number is 052714314 point.
Okay, hear it again. Hear it again.
This is New York Governor Kathy Hochul.
I'll do it again later. We have news coming up.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome.
W295EI.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
Keeping former President Trump safe. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The Secret Service and local law enforcement are tasked with that in Michigan this evening at a Trump town hall in Flint, the first one since the second assassination attempt.
All of a sudden, we heard shots being fired in the air, and I guess probably 4 or 5.
And then the former president was whisked off the golf course in West Palm Beach, Florida, Sunday. The shots he heard were ones an agent fired at a suspect with a gun. The former president said on X Spaces President Biden called him after.
We do need more people on my detail because we have 50, 60,000 people showing up to events, and other people don't have that. But he couldn't have been nicer.
Well, President Biden did condemn political violence again in Philadelphia.
America suffered too many times the tragedy of an assassin's bullet. It solves nothing and just tears the country apart.
The suspect, Ryan Ruth, is now jailed on 2 federal gun charges.
More charges are possible, but the government believes these are enough to keep him in custody. As authorities probe his background, campaign rhetoric is coming under scrutiny, too. Trump telling Fox News Digital the suspect, quote, believed the rhetoric of Biden and Harris, and he acted on it. Their rhetoric is causing me to be shot at, unquote. Democrats, for their part, have also accused Trump of raising the temperature.
Fox's Madeline Rivera. Israel has set a third goal in its war against Hamas, unrelated to Gaza.
They had already outlined dismantling Hamas and returning the hostages as 2 objectives in this war. That third objective is now returning Israeli citizens to the northern part of the country. With near daily rocket and drone fire coming from Iran-backed Hezbollah in the south of Lebanon, more than 60,000 Israelis have been forced to abandon their homes.
Fox's Mike Tobin in Tel Aviv. Sean Diddy Combs was behind bars this morning after the rapper and music producer was arrested in New York City. We don't know the charges yet, but Combs has been accused of sexual assault, and some of his homes were raided during a federal human trafficking investigation. America's listening to Fox News.
Life takes a toll on our bodies. No way around it. Whether it's sitting hours on end at your computer or working a physical job, over time, your body pays the price. There is, however, an effective way to turn back the clock on pain. Relief Factor. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor helps support your body's response to inflammation. The difference, instead of masking pain, Relief Factor helps eliminate it for good. And it's 100% drug-free. If the pains that come with living a full life are affecting you, do as so many others have. Turn back the clock on pain with Relief Factor. Their 3-week quick start is just $19.95, less than $1 a day. When you feel good, it's amazing how much more you get out of life. So visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Try it for only $19.95. While we can't stop aging, not yet, we can stop pain. Turn back the clock with Relief Factor.
A hearing will resume this hour investigating the mission that was big news for a week. A year ago, the Titan submersible that exploded on its way down to the Titanic wreckage. An employee who labeled the Titan unsafe will testify today.
The cause of the Titan's implosion is still being determined. The hearing in Charleston, South Carolina, has been looking into the stability of the vehicle. Tony Nissen, the ex-engineering director for OceanGate, which owned the Titan, testified past hull issues caused safety questions that were ignored.
It's suffered 3 other rapid decompressions, and it's a compromised hull. You'd have to do one that's brand new. And Brian Spencer wasn't willing to do anything different.
Nissen said Brian Spencer oversaw the building of the hull. Nissen adds his questions led to his firing from OceanGate. The hearing is expected to go on about 2 weeks. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are rising. The day after the Dow closed at a new record high, the day before an expected Federal Reserve interest rate cut. An American who won then lost an Olympic medal keeps trying to get her bronze back.
American gymnast Jordan Chiles filed an appeal Monday asking Switzerland's Supreme Court to overturn the ruling that saw her stripped of the bronze medal in the floor exercise of the 2024 Paris Olympics. the Court of Arbitration for Sport voided an on-court appeal by Childs' coach that allowed her to jump from 5th to 3rd in the final of the event. CAS ruled that the appeal came 4 seconds after the 1-minute time limit for scoring inquiries, and Romanian Ana Barbosu was awarded the bronze medal on August 16th. Joe Morgan, Fox News.
On Monday Night Football, the Falcons fly higher than the Eagles.
Hurts gets hit as he throws and intercepted.
That interception ended Philadelphia's last-minute comeback attempt on ESPN, sealing Atlanta's 22-21 win. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time, 8:05. I'm Andrew Derminio. Right now, we're at 58 degrees under cloudy skies. Your full weather forecast is coming up. This update brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. 2 Utica City School District students have been arrested after being accused of making threats. On Friday, a staff member received an email sent by a 12-year-old student that threatened to carry out a school shooting. Yesterday, the FBI notified the district about a separate threat made by a 15-year-old student on Snapchat that mentioned Donovan and JFK Middle Schools and Proctor High School. Both students have been charged with a felony for making a terroristic threat, and the district is boosting school security as a precaution. The mayor of the village of Frankfurt has announced he has made the difficult decision to start the process of shutting down the village police department. Mayor Justin Smithson says he and other village officials have done all they can to try to save the department, but to no avail. The current police department budget is 26% of the entire village budget. You can read the full details on the story at WIBX950.com. We'll speak with Mayor Smithson coming up this hour on First News with Keeler. Today is National Voter Registration Day, and New Yorkers are being reminded to make sure they're signed up to cast a ballot. The last day to register for the general election on November 5th is October 26th. Anyone who wants to be able to have their voices heard on Election Day, November 5th, can register online, in person, or by mailing in their paperwork. Folks who want to check their registration status can do so at elections.ny.gov. And more help is now being offered to residents in Madison, Oneida, and Oswego counties impacted by severe weather. Applications through the state of New York are available for income-eligible homeowners who had their property damaged by storms that impacted the area between July 10th and 16th and August 9th through 10th. Funding up to $50,000 can be used for emergency home repairs that would make a residence safe, habitable, and sanitary. Grants are available on a first-come, first-served basis, and the application deadline is October 7th. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time, 8:07. Your weather forecast is brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service. Visit clintontractor.net. For today, expect partly sunny skies with a high in the low 80s. Overnight, we'll see partly cloudy skies with a low in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, more sunshine with temperatures in the lower 80s. You can always get the full 5-day forecast at WIBX950.com right now. 58 under cloudy skies at 8:08. Sports brought to you by IBEW Utica 43 local contractors. We'll start with baseball. The Mets rallied for a 2-1 walk-off win over the Nationals to open their 3-game series at Citi Field. Starling Marte drove in the game-winning run with an RBI single in the bottom of the 10th. Reed Garrett was credited with the victory after pitching a scoreless top of the 10th. New York is alone in the final NL wildcard spot at 82-68. They'll continue their series tonight in Queens. The Yankees begin their final road trip of the regular season on the West Coast tonight. They've won 4 of their last 5, and they will hope to continue that winning. They hope to continue winning against the Seattle Mariners at T-Mobile Park tonight as Luis Gil will start. He enters at 13-6. The Bronx Bombers are leading the AL East at 87-63, 3 games up on the Baltimore Orioles. You heard it at the top of the hour, Fox News, but it bears repeating. The Falcons stage a game-winning drive to come back and beat the Eagles 22-21 on Monday Night Football from Philadelphia. Kirk Cousins and the offense marched 70 yards in just over a minute, which ended with a 7-yard touchdown pass to Drake London to tie the game. Philly got the ball back with 34 seconds left, but Jalen Hurts threw an interception to Jesse Bates to end the game. Atlanta is now 1-1 on the season and will host the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. Philly shares the same record and visits the Saints, who are red hot on Sunday. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM News Time 8:09. I want to let you know that Dr. Tim Delmedico, he believes in this program, and he believes in Revive Soft Wave Therapy on Genesee Street in Utica. He wants to see people get relief from their nagging and debilitating pain. And the Revive Soft Wave Therapy technology was brought to Dr. Tim Delmedico early on, and now he's got 4 different clinics that offer this service. He's actually a dealer of the technology and is a supplier for other practitioners, and he's got 4 clinics himself. He actually sold his chiropractic business to solely focus on treating people with Revive Soft Wave Therapy, the soft wave technology, which uses high-speed sound waves to direct your body's stem cells and natural blood flow to the impacted area, which promotes natural healing. So if you've been relying on pain medication or quarterly or biannually pain injections, why don't you give this a try? ReviveUtica.com is the website, ReviveUtica.com. We're in the midst of football season, and there are a number of NFL teams that have this technology in their locker rooms for pre-game, post-game, and during halftime. They're even able to use this technology. I know the Dolphins and the Cowboys and several other teams are using Revive Soft Wave Therapy.
I believe the Eagles' defense was using software therapy during the last drive of the game.
If they didn't, they should have. They'll need to recover.
I'm not talking about when the Eagles were trying to come back. I'm talking about that. You know what I'm talking about.
The final 70-yard drive.
Yeah.
But basically, talk to Dr. Tim Delmedico and his staff. They are ready and willing to help you in any way that they can. And if you mention the Keeler Show, you'll get a discount on your first session, part of Discovery Days. That'll give you a consultation with one of their doctors, a soft wave therapy treatment, and they'll put you on a treatment and recovery plan and assessment that's right for you. You can call them at 315-725-8427, 315-725-8427, or go to ReviveUtica.com. That's ReviveUtica.com.
I'm going to try see if
This is New York Governor
wait a
Kathy Hochul.
Hi.
Oh, great. Is Paul Buckley up next?
Yes, he is.
I hate it when he calls me sweetheart.
Oh.
By the way, my social security number is 0527143314.
Well, thank you, Governor, for that.
Was that too many numbers? I
appreciate
don't know.
it.
Oh, speaking of numbers.
I think it's
speaking of
correctly the correct numbers. Speaking of numbers,
I cannot forget, because I will get in trouble by Megan. Our Keeler cash code are back. Your Win Keeler's cash is back, and you can win it possibly by typing in 738. Type in the WIBX 950 mobile app, the 3 numbers, 738. That is our 8 a.m. code word for your chance to win some serious dough.
738.
We'll give you that 9 a.m. code word at the top of the hour.
Okay. All right, got a break. Coming up, we'll speak with the mayor of Frankfurt. Are they getting rid of the police department? The village police department. We'll talk about that coming right up.
Hey everyone, Lisa here from Fit Body Boot Camp in Whitesboro and Clinton. Are you ready to fall back into that fitness routine? As the seasons transform, why not transform your fitness goals too? Here at Fit Body Boot Camp, we can help you create those healthy habits, and yes, our coaches are ready to help you lose the weight for the very last time. What are you waiting for? Join us today for free, because we are the best of the best fitness center for 3 years in a row. Call us or find us on Facebook to start your journey.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you gotta hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflesh.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe, and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflesh.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflesh.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflesh.com.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Carl's massive overstock clearance sale. Recliners from $199. Sofa and love seats from $299 each. Bedroom $799 or less. My Carl's New Hartford Shopping Center.
It's the Tackle a Deal sales event at Destination Kia of Utica.
And we have a deal on an all-wheel drive SUV you need to hear.
Lease a brand new 2025 Kia Seltos LX all-wheel drive for just $368 a month for 36 months.
And that's with zero down, zero due at inception, even sales tax included.
Incredible, but true. No money down and $368 per month for an all-wheel drive SUV.
Now that's kooky.
Make that short drive and choose from 400 new Kias in one location.
So go kooky for Kia at Destination Kia of Utica. Puppies and babies not included.
2025 Kia Seltos LX all-wheel drive. VIN number S7704889. MSRP $26,550. 36 month, 30,000 mile lease. 20 cents per mile over. $0 due at inception. $0 security deposit. 8.75% sales tax and $650 acquisition fee included in payment structure. $400 disposition fee. 720 plus FICO score. Offer expires 9/30/2024.
As the leaves start to change and the air becomes crisp, Ava Tulo's fall collection is just around the corner. They are thrilled to announce that Pendleton is making a comeback to their fall line. The season also brings back the highly anticipated annual Jack Victor Trunk Show with savings on made-to-measure suits and sport coats. Follow Ava Tulo on Facebook and Instagram, where they'll be sharing sneak peeks of the perfect pieces to elevate your wardrobe. Embrace the spirit of fall fashion only at Ava Tulo, located in the New Hartford Shopping Center.
John Legend here. How do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date? With a COVID shot this season.
You can get your COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC. Ask your healthcare provider and book at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Get ready for the world's premier box lacrosse event. The World Lacrosse Box Championships are coming to Utica, New York. Witness 28 men's and 10 women's teams from 28 countries compete for the ultimate title. From September 20th to the 29th, experience 133 electrifying games at the Adirondack Bank Center and Utica University Nexus Center. Catch up to 16 games a day with intense action every 45 minutes. And don't miss the vibrant vendor village. Get your tickets now at EmpireStateTix.com.
Carl's massive overstock clearance sale. Recliners from $199. Sofa and love seats from $299 each. Bedroom $799 or less. My Carl's New Hartford Shopping Center.
This is Keeler in the morning. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Okay. Good morning. So, I'm told that Andrew will have another winning code for the 9 o'clock hour coming up at 9 o'clock this morning during the news. Money given away. They're giving away money around here. Everybody wants to give away money. The mayor of the village of Frankfurt is on the line. Probably also one of the greatest guitar players you'll see and singers, period, bar none, from the band Showtime, Justin Smithson. But here is the mayor of Frankfurt, Mayor Justin Smithson. Good morning. How you doing, Mayor?
I'm doing well, Bill. How about yourself?
Good. Glad to have you back on. And so, what's happening with? I think a lot of people have over the years wondered how it works. There have been back and forth arguments, I think, between the town of Frankfurt and the village of Frankfurt over the years of who gets to pull who over in the village. Who gets the ticket? I mean, this has been going on for a long time.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, there's a huge difference between the village of Frankfurt and the town of Frankfurt. The village, obviously, is just 1 square mile within the top northeast corner of the town of Frankfurt, and we do have our own police department right now, and we, of course, the town, if they see something, can pull people over, of course, and because they have jurisdiction just as much as like the state troopers can come into the village or the town and pull people over themselves because they have jurisdiction. So yeah, but there has been, back and forth on, who does what, who gets what. And yeah.
Yeah. So you have, there's a proposal underway in the village. It seems like the council, along with yourself, are in an agreement to dissolve the village police department.
Yes, the village board has obviously weighed many options that we've had. That first, I have to say that we are going to have a public hearing for all village residents to attend October 7th at 6:30, and a lot more questions will be answered. And I'd like to give the board an opportunity to answer those questions as well, and not just myself. I just think it's a lot easier if we all answer together. And so I just, it is what it is, and it's a decision that we didn't take lightly. It's not something that we were just like, one day going, hey, what should we do today? Oh, let's close the police department. I mean, there was many different things that were weighed and different options, and we just can't sustain a village police force anymore.
I did see it's a pretty big part of your budget.
For sure. It's just about approximately 26% of our village budget.
How much is that?
In the letter, I have it right here. The village budget, you want to know what the
how much is how much is the cost of village police, so what does that 26% account for?
Yeah, the total cost of the police department in our budget is right now $567,669.70. The total village budget for 2024 is $2.162 million, which is approximately 26% of which is the village police department.
Andrew, hold on, I got to get which mic you're on. And it's this one.
Mayor, do you have any idea yet what it would the cost savings would be going to the town of Frankfurt and having them police the village, or will they, as you said in your letter, just legally have to be bound to police the village?
Well, I mean, obviously we have we've been speaking to the town, here and there periodically, and we've prepared the town in the sense that this is what our intentions are. So obviously they're, they have to make room in their budget for more police officers. But yes, legally, if let's say we were to shut the doors right now to the village police department, the town is legally bound to patrol the village. So contrary to certain things that have been said on social media, we will have 24-hour protection in the village of Frankfurt.
How many village police officers will lose their jobs?
That is unknown at this time. I know that we do have a full-time sergeant that's retiring in November. We have 3 full-time police officers, and we have also had some chiefs of police in the area reach out to our chief and offer these guys at least even temporary positions until the town opens up their books for more officers. But yeah, there are many opportunities for them if they need to.
Okay. And here's another thing that is interesting. For years, and I'm not sure where it stands today, but for years there would be members of the village police force also that worked for the town police as well.
Yeah, at that time, the town was a part-time agency and the village was full-time, and it's kind of almost flip-flopped. Like the town is twice the size now. The police force is now twice the size of the village, and so it's completely flip-flopped, which is why it's not feasible to consolidate because they're already twice the size of us, so they don't need to consolidate with us.
And are you you must be, but I'll ask you, are you confident, especially despite the story that happened at the open house at Frankfurt Elementary School, and the fact that name of whoever that was is not out yet, are you confident that the Frankfurt Town Police will be good coverage for the village?
I'm very confident in it. Also because a lot of people may or may not know, but the town of Frankfurt Police Department is located within the village. So any lapse in time for getting to a call or anything like that, it makes no sense to me because they're already in the village and they're going to, they're already going to do it. You know what I mean?
And what's your timeline on this? Let's say you have the public hearing, the council votes for this, you sign it. I'm assuming that's how it goes. What does the timeline look like?
Well, we've budgeted, and this budget, by the way, is it's until January 1st is what we've set up to pay them. Until January 1st is when we're looking to close the.
Okay, all right.
The end of the year.
End of the year. Anything else, Andrew?
No, I think that's it.
All right, Mayor. I've got to really work on not confusing the two. Your work as a musician and your work as mayor. Right. So I'm not going to ask you anything about where you guys are playing this weekend.
Can you put Justin Smithson, the musician, on, please?
Hang on 1 second. Oh, hello, Bill and Andrew. How you doing?
Hey, it's good to hear from
Justin,
you.
how's it going?
Where's Showtime this week?
Well, Justin Smithson solo is at One Jenny tonight from 6 to 9.
Very nice.
I'm playing with a bunch of guys on Wednesday at DiMattio's, and then Friday is a wedding. Saturday, Showtime will be performing as the headlining act for the Frankfurt Harbor Fest.
Okay,
sweet. You're going to have good weather for it.
Yeah, and I believe we're going to be talking about that coming up this week. So, all right, Justin, and listen, we're so proud of what you've gone on to do here. So, congratulations.
I really appreciate that, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, and tell the mayor we said so as well.
Okay.
We'll do.
We'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. Justin Smithson, the mayor of the village of Frankfurt. In studio right now is Billy the Liquor Guy along with Paul Buckley. And I wanted to start out with...
This is New York Governor Kathy Hochul. Oh, great. Is Paul Buckley up next? I hate it when he calls me sweetheart. By the way... My social security number is 0527143114.
She's not
also,
afraid.
I love Billy the Liquor Guy. Governor, out.
Governor out. Like Seacrest.
She loves you.
Seacrest out. Governor out. There you go, Paul.
Yeah, she looks like she has a caterpillar race going on her forehead, doesn't she? Those eyebrows of hers.
I really never looked at it that way, but it's kind of a Brooke Shields thing that she's got going
exactly.
on.
Yeah.
All right, I'll let you do the introduction.
Good morning. Good morning. So,
Billy here.
well, we've been here before.
I'm going to turn the book so the camera can see it.
Right. So there's the camera's this way.
Yep.
Very nice.
That way. So we've been here before. Billy Liquor Guy. I was trying to promote his book on the show, and we came here. And you guys were graciously enough to see us, and we talked about it before. But I want to go back to where I first met Billy. Jimmy Simpson brought him to my attention, and to Neil. And so we had a meeting, and I said, okay, let's sit down. So I put the camera in front of Billy, and we started talking about what he did, about his book. And so as he's peeling back these stories and stuff, I'm going, oh my God, this is an incredible story. I mean, it's like and you know, all these cop shows like Law and Order and the police department, they're like police blotters. And I said, this book right here is a perfect screenplay for a crime scene movie or whatever, or series.
Which is called Under Too
Long. Right. And he was under too long.
And we're talking about being undercover.
Yes. And so all the stories he was telling me, I was in shock. You know, my jaw hit the floor. I go, why? He's flirting with death every day.
Yeah.
And so I let him go. So the interview took about an hour. Usually my interviews for City Limits only take about 10, 15 minutes, and that's it.
This was an hour.
And this is an hour. So I had this big flash drive that I gave him to him. He took it. But I told Bill, I go, listen, this is bigger than what I can do. It's way bigger than I. So we've got to pursue a possible mini series or a movie or something like that. And I gave him the flash drive. I tried with my connections, but the budget would have been way too big for my connections. Billy went on his road doing his book signing and speeches and stuff like that. And he'll tell you how he made it and how it came to fruition. And it's just an amazing story. But not only the story of how we are where we are today, but I mean the story itself of him undercover.
Yeah,
it's shocking. It's horrific. I mean, the guy he flirted with death every day. You know, keeping people safe. And he, I hate to say this, but he's a hero. You know.
Wow, he's calling you a hero.
Yes, he is.
Billy. You're right on. Really tight there.
I'm sorry. He's a good guy. He's crazy as a bedbug, but he didn't mention that while we were doing the show, which was supposed to be taping for his show.
Yeah.
There was 25 F-bombs dropped. Not
Wow.
by me.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I am not surprised.
No, and he's just going, "Are you kidding me?" And
Yeah.
I could normally, I have a good story, but I was still with the PTSD. I wasn't myself for years. And
I'm going to have you hold on a second, Andrew. If you could take the wind screen off his mic,
I think
and then
turn mine up and not his.
maybe that's it.
His is too.
Okay, try it now.
All right, can you hear me now?
That's better, yeah.
Speak up, Billy.
Okay, I'm
All
a little
right,
confused as to which mic is which mic. They're all over the place.
You know me, I'm a shy, timid guy.
Oh, yeah, right.
Well, anyways, I took his advice. I went on the road. But first of all, Tennille Millo. She helped me write the book a great deal. I talked, she wrote. But she was trying to get me an interview with Paul, but then Jimmy Simpson, longtime good friend of mine, who knows Paul, so that says a lot about him that he knows Jimmy Simpson well.
Yeah.
So
Everybody knows Jimmy Simpson.
That's right. So it doesn't say anything about
No,
Paul.
it doesn't. No, but I was. He was amazing. He gave me good advice. I was impressed, and he did a flash drive for me, which I had to pay for the flash drive. But we'll talk about that some other time. But he just gave me a good pep talk, gave me some stuff I needed, and I went on the road and I do a lot of book signings. I talked to 12 people, 4 people, or because of the PTSD, I would talk to any audience. I spoke to people from 150 to 4.
So with your book, what have you landed some sort of a deal here?
Yes, I have. I did sign. I was talking to some in one of my normal book signings in some state. I'll just say down south somewhere because I go up and down the East Coast. Some lady came up to me, not elderly lady, and she wanted to know more about the PTSD. I was at a little my own. She goes, "Are you the guy that wrote about the PTSD?" I go, "Yes, I am, ma'am." And she was 80-ish. It's in a walker, and she goes, "I want you to tell me everything about PTSD." So I took my time with her because I'm usually, she was a nice lady. In fact, I said, "Let's get a cup of coffee." We sat and we talked because the book signing was done. And next thing I know, she asked me again, "I want to know everything." So I did, and she was like amazed. And she goes, "I can't thank you enough." And then when she came back, her friends came to get her, and they said, "Bertha, why don't you buy the book?" I said, "It's your birthday?" I said, "Birthday, here." I gave her a book.
Yeah.
Well, about a week later, I'm chilling. I'm getting something from California because I've been dealing with them a lot. I go, "Who the hell's California?" I got a Gmail. And the guy started off, "I can't thank you enough for taking care of my mother."
Wow.
And he said, "By the way, I'm an executive producer, or I'm tied in with William Morris Agency." So even me, who knows nothing about that stuff, knows.
You knew that.
That's pretty
William
big.
Morris. Yeah.
Anyways, a week, I got contacted by Funhouse Creative, but actually they're a production company where they are agents of William Morris, but they contacted me, and Anthony Barrios and a Billy Abramson, both great guys, said they want me to. I did a little interview. Next thing you know, a week later, I'm getting offered a movie contract about my book, obviously addressing the PTSD. And we went from there. These guys are great. They made me, like here, they're just regular guys.
Regular people. Explain how the PTSD, how you came about getting this traumatic injury. This was your undercover work, right?
Yes, it was. Long story short, 10 years of undercover. I did a lot of interesting stuff. I bought guns, drugs, bombs. I went to Africa, chased down some bad guys. I had a gun pointed in my head, which I did not realize. Well, that clicked, but I did not realize after the fact. I did not know what PTSD was until I retired.
Yeah.
And I just kept getting all these flashbacks of fatalities, certain situations I was in, and the only thing I thought I was fine, but I knew something was going on, but it wasn't until there was a death in the family by one of my nieces, who I care a great deal about. Her child died of crib death, and that just forced me into I got really, really upset is the best way. And from that, then I realized after about a year trying to deal with this, whatever I had, I went to see a psychiatrist because I was in a bad place. And he just said, the brain can only take so much, can only get wound up so much and with him, I worked at it and knowing how to, with counseling, therapy, meds, good meds, I was able to, I don't like to say conquer it because it's always there.
Right, it'll always be there.
In fact, the stuff that the mayor just prior brought up with defund the police, I wrote a second book, and that was only because they were talking about I won't get into politics, but certain people were talking about defunding the police, and I just said this is ridiculous, and I got a what do you call it, a reoccurrence of the PTSD. I felt that I just waste my life, 10 years undercover, 10 years dealing with PTSD.
Right, now they're going to get rid of the police.
Yeah, I said, and which is the most idiotic thing in the world, but I won't get political. But when I do my talks, I incorporate that in there. I do my talks about PTSD. I just say, you know what you got to do when you do that? Just go buy toe tags for your family.
Yeah, that's right. You're right.
You'll be using.
How do you see, in a nutshell, how would you describe the movie that is being considered right now?
They told me they've actually know my whole life. Within the last few weeks of meeting with them stuff, I sent them everything from, because the second book is called The Making of Billy the Liquor Guy. And obviously the movie is based on the first book, but they do want to incorporate the second book.
Okay.
They were very interested in it, and they just know everything about, I sent them stuff from some of my high school days. I was fortunate. I was athletic in high school and college, but then the police work, the situation I grew up, because people don't, my grandfather was in the mafia, which was basically my own personal street training when I was growing up as a young man in East Utica.
And that helped you
stay alive.
Undercover.
Undercover. I just went to my basic instincts, which again, I was never in the mafia associated with my grandfather. He just used to, I learned certain lessons from him.
Yeah.
And then growing up in East Utica, especially off of Bleecker Street, which I called in the second book, The Boulevard of Broken Dreams, because Utica is a great place, but there is such a diversity, and there is it's different, because our mafia was big in the 50s and 60s.
It was. And do you feel that was there any guilt when you say PTSD? Do you have any guilt of working with police, working with the federal government, and knowing where you came from, where some might look at that as being not good?
Well, I'd imagine you got close to the people you were ultimately investigating.
But I'm more interested right now, and then we'll talk about that. So 2 questions.
Okay, go ahead.
So do you have any guilt of basically abandoning that life, and maybe even your grandfather or those back then would not be happy if you were cooperating, if you will?
That's a good way to put it for both questions.
Yeah.
I'll try to answer them because I'm not the brightest guy in the world.
I think you're pretty bright.
Yeah. The first one, yes, because first of all, I don't try to interchange. The only way I can do is answer them together because I can't keep 2 thoughts. I'm
Fair
not
enough.
Billy the Liquor Guy anymore.
Okay.
I used to have about 8 thoughts in my mind.
I understand.
With the bad guys. Excuse me. But yes, because I hit my allegiance, my grandfather taught me was never talk to the police.
Yeah, right.
Never squeal on anybody. Yeah. And I'll be honest, because of my life, and the answer, as you say, I became so close with these bad guys. I live with them. I dine with them. I had people protect me from a biker gang that some element of a biker gang wanted to tear into me, but some other guys from it protected me. And even one of my best friends was a big drug dealer, to be honest with you. And when they firebombed his house, and he called me on my cell phone and said, Billy, big dog, don't come down here. They're arresting everybody. So I was torn a lot. And I'll be honest, even I developed a relationship with the bad guys, which was much stronger than other than my team of guys I worked with was much stronger. Like both of my parents were in the hospital, and you live your life close as you can when you're in the cover.
Right,
so I told the bad guys, my, Double J, I said, listen, I'm going to be out of, I got some issues at home. Both my parents are in a hospital. Well, when I came back to work, other than a couple of guys on my team, which I was close to, no one on the different agencies I dealt with asked how my parents. The first person asked was the drug dealer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Said,
interesting.
He was concerned. I mean, I went to his nephew's funeral, his baby's christening. So I lived the life of a bad guy.
So how did you justify it?
I became Billy the Liquor Guy.
Yeah.
As far as I knew, to stay alive, I justified it, but I was Billy the Liquor Guy. Mm-hmm. My allegiance was to do whatever I can with the bad guys to show them what I can be like without going up, pushing the envelope. Did I go above and beyond sometime to be Billy the Liquor Guy? Yes.
Yeah.
Certain incidents occur when you're making drug deals that you do what you have to do.
You're good.
Yeah. So, and some of my other, I'll say, I'm not, just some of the feds, because they're more regulated than I definitely was.
Right.
Would get into my face a lot about that you're getting too close to these bad guys. And I said, the reason I'm still alive is I'm close to these bad guys.
Right.
You have to become who you are to be a good
Otherwise, they wouldn't trust you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or you get shot. I mean, I've been in basements of biker guys, and they're passing around drugs. And if, I got patted down. One guy took my shirt off once. He said, patting me down, are you all real? And I said, well, okay, but I go.
This is just like the movies.
A lot of it is, but
Yeah.
I had a couple comments, but it is real life.
Yeah.
I learned on my street sense from East Utica and I turned it around. I said, well, now you take your shirt off. He goes, what do you mean? I go, I don't know you.
Right.
I said, I know these two guys. I've made deals. I don't know you. Why can't you take your shirt off? I took mine off. I've learned to try to turn it around a little bit. Or, as they say, baffle them with bullshit. I don't know if
probably can't say that, but but he did.
I'm sorry.
All right, Paul, your takeaway on his story, and
It's fascinating.
It is.
And so that,
especially being from Utica and being an Italian like you are,
and trying to.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. And trying to visualize everything he's telling me, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm way in over my head. There's too many moving parts. Any story he told me was going to take a lot of people, and it would be like a production. So that's why I said, Billy, you got to get this thing made into a movie. Every story he told me is an episode. So I was thinking miniseries, an episodic movie, or a chain of movies. Maybe he could be the next Jack Reacher, Jack, whatever, all that kind of stuff. So, the stories were. I was in awe and I was in horror because this poor guy was living with these criminals, and he blended in with them. And and how do you take that stuff home with you at night? So I was just simply amazed, and I fell in love with the project, and I just said, you got to do this, you got to do that. And so he went out on his own and selling books, doing his lectures and stuff like that. And then this happened, and it's just fantastic. And hopefully this will be shot in Utica. Locations haven't been discussed yet, but that's the big.
Yeah.
This is gold. This whole thing is gold.
Yeah.
I have brought that up because I'm very loyal. I love Utica. I'm very loyal to it. In fact, most of my connections have been developed through Utica and Rome, which you find out just of all the contacts I've made. But I did mention it to producers. I said, you got a city with a wonderful. I can't believe
so many opportunities.
Yes, it does. But we have a director of production who's very good at what he does, and they've done so many movies. Boy, I can throw the BS. I see.
Yeah.
But anyways,
you talking about me?
No, not at all. But he's
a
met,
guy who looks like
he's
you.
the film czar, as a matter of fact.
He is.
Yeah,
Well, he's met, and he has pushed it, and we are working on it. And I did say, again, they told me, quote, they're very professional, but very good. They said, Billy, it sounds good about Utica. I go, you have a natural, basically you have a natural, what do you call it? Fill-ins, actors,
right?
You don't have, they have that could play certain parts.
You know who did that really well was The Sopranos, because they used a lot of guys who weren't really actors, and they fit the part, if you will,
and they do,
and that worked.
But they do have a good thing here with the production and stuff they do, and they are interested. They can't make no promises, but they said that's definitely a consideration.
Yeah, okay.
Production company, which is actually, I got to give them promos before I forget, because
okay.
It's at Anthony Barros and Billy Abramson they're called they're this Fearless Contact, but they're also associated with Adam Verdi, who is he's Living the Dream Entertainment. He's won some Emmys. These are real deal people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of small little different outlets, but the fact that they're representatives of William Morris, I know big. I got a good shot.
Yeah.
But and they're great guys, and but
the Clementi guy too.
Yeah,
your friend Clementi.
Oh, there's Francis de Clementi, again from Syracuse, but he's from Rome, New York. He put me on. He's a big deal with Syracuse University. In fact, he's the media production from Syracuse University, senior professor. But he's hooked me up with different people all throughout the United States.
Yeah.
And little by little, Billy the Liquor Guy's been known, like places I go and, I heard about you. Or a couple times when I got stopped by police, I still, I carry my badge still, but they go, I know who you are. You're Billy the Liquor Guy.
That's pretty wild.
I was able to drive away with it. without a
wow.
And like, not to interrupt, but like I said, you have to know somebody in this industry because we've been working this for 2 years, and it's starting to snowball now, like snowball big. So it's very exciting, and I hope I really pray it comes to fruition.
And
here
it could
in Utica.
and it could happen right here in Utica.
It could. In fact, if they got the last meeting I'd had with the production company, great guys, and I look at it as a good luck charm because they're actually Billy and Tony, and my first undercover op was Tony, so we were Billy and Tony. So I tried to associate.
Yeah.
But they said, listen, Bill, don't take this wrong. You have a simple story, but it's not simple.
Right.
We sat in a meeting for 5 hours. We couldn't know what to try to get rid of, to cut down, because I've learned that they have certain procedures.
Yeah.
They do like a sizzler to keep the thing promoted. Then they do a different. They do have. They're starting to look at it, but he said this is going to be a little time consuming. This ain't happening tomorrow.
Right.
And
It's
so-
probably the project will take a few years to.
Probably could.
Yeah.
Because they did. I can't mention any actors, but they're A-list actors, and they said I can't really talk about them because of negotiations.
Wow.
But I said to them, guys, why are you using
actors, right?
A-list actors or whatever? I got people that they go, well, Billy. I said, plus the cost, we could save a lot of money. Again, producing, promoting Utica.
Right.
I said, we got naturals to this guy who are criminals. And they said, I said, but you don't understand. They said, that's why cost is not a concern.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, so when they, I'm not the brightest guy in the world, but I pick up on stuff like
This
that.
might be the biggest movie ever produced here.
I hope. I'm really hoping. I'm counting on it.
Yeah.
Are you guys, when you hear this tape, Billy and Tony, are you listening? Utica is all you can need.
This is perfect.
And like I said earlier, this is a pre-written screenplay. All they got to do is read a chapter. There's an episode. Next chapter, an episode.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right there in front of them. You get a screenplay writer to just fluff it up a little bit, change some names to protect the innocent, and you've got a script. You've got a script right there. Show you script.
I call when they mention my name, I call protect the guilty. But they were like, it was like talking to you guys. They said during the interview, I'm not. Their words. You're natural.
Yeah.
He says, Mom, whatever. He said, Mom said to read the book. I read the book. He goes, I couldn't put it down. These are producers. From Holly, California, and I'm going, okay. So I'm going, all right, but I go, but I've learned to go with the flow, and I'll tell everybody now, what about the movie? I said, listen, I look at it this way. I have 2 books coming out. I'm just a guy from East Utica that was at the right place, the right time.
Yeah.
My personality.
And with 2 books, and who knows what's next.
If this does come to fruition, we're going to change Utica to Pollywood.
Okay, I like it.
There you go.
All right, great job. Thank you.
I got to give one guy a shout out. Another guy I've been promoting to play me here because, especially the first chapter where I jump in the van in the midwinter to gain basically just with underwear on sneakers, running around the streets of Syracuse. And he's offered to play me because other people, he's crazy as a bed bug, but he's promoted me a lot. It's called Nicky Schmidt. He's a great guy, but he's a younger me. I said, I have a natural. They said, Billy, we'll take care of the actors, but we'll have it under consideration.
Well, at least take a look at the guy, right? So, all right, great stuff, Billy. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Paul, as always.
Love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Quick break. Coming up, the mayor of Ilion. They've had some water issues. They are now in the midst of electric issues. We'll get to that coming up in a second.
Carl's massive overstock clearance sale. Recliners from $199. Sofa and love seats from $299 each. Bedroom $799 or less. My Carl's New Hartford Shopping Center.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Carl's massive overstock clearance sale. Recliners from $199. Sofa and love seats from $299 each. Bedroom $799 or less. My Carl's New Hartford Shopping Center.
This is Bill Cole from Gates Cole Insurance. Finding insurance coverage can be an overwhelming undertaking. As your local independent insurance company, we work hard for you to get the best coverage.
My name's Timothy Dean. I'm from Taberg, New York. We had a house fire. Got a phone call at 3 o'clock in the morning. My house was fully involved. That morning at 6 o'clock, I called. Leslie was my agent, and within a matter of 20 minutes, the agent had called me, and within a matter of 2 hours, the agent was on scene, assisting me with whatever I needed, and Gates Cole went above and beyond I would highly recommend Gates Cole Insurance to anyone for the customer service that they have provided for me during not only my fire, but also for all my business needs.
This is Tom Cole. For insurance for your home, auto, business, and just about everything else, trust your local independent insurance agency. Gates Cole Insurance will take care of you.
Don't pass up your chance to save big at Destination Kia of Utica.
With no money down leases on over 400 new Kias.
Like a brand new 2024 Kia Sportage LX all-wheel drive for just $398 a month for 36 months.
And that's with 0 down, 0 due at inception, even sales tax included.
An all-wheel drive SUV, no money down, $398 per month. Now that's cookie. Make that short drive and choose from 400 new Kias in one location.
So go cookie for Kia at Destination Kia of Utica. Puppies and babies not included.
2024 Kia Sportage LX, STK number 25T0061, MSRP $30,540, 36 month, 30,000 mile lease, 20 cents per mile over, $0 due at inception, $0 security deposit, 8.75% sales tax, and $650 acquisition fee included in payment structure, $400 disposition fee, 720 plus FICO score. Offer expires 9/30/2024.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, let me bring in the mayor of Ilion. We're heavy on Herkimer County right now, right? Ilion Mayor John Stevens on the line right now. They have had a pretty severe power outage in the village of Ilion. Mayor, good morning. What do we know coming into Tuesday morning here?
Good morning, guys. We are 100% back up and running.
Okay.
As of about 7:30 last night.
So 100% as of last night.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It was a national grid supply issue. It had nothing to do with anything that the village controls or maintains. It was all a supply from the grid. Apparently something happened out towards the town of Schuyler with one of their feeder lines, and it caused the outage in the village with their supply to us.
Okay.
As you know, Bill, growing up down here in this area, a village-wide outage is quite rare. We have sections that once in a while go out, but village-wide, I can only think of maybe 3 other times, including yesterday, that this has happened since, my 58 years. So, but no, we're back up and running as of 7:30 last night. Again, thanks Grid for they actually found it with a helicopter.
Okay.
They were flying the lines. And found I believe it was a guy wire that had snapped on one of their towers out in the woods, and it had flipped up over and hit the power lines and short-circuited those out. And, so it took them a little bit to find, but they did. And then when they found it, they got on it and repaired it and got a hold of us and said, start ramping things back up. And that was it.
I know you were dealing with a lot of the rumors out there. None of those had any truth to them.
No. I mean, we, you guys all saw how I addressed things on our social media page. It's difficult. There's a fire, there was an explosion, there's a fire at our power plant, there was a fire at London Towers with people trapped in elevators. Folks, none of that was true, for starters. But that also doesn't help the situation when we got people going. I mean, because that takes away the focus from what we're trying to get done to get it back up and running.
Yeah.
We're out checking that stuff. So, I certainly don't know how to stop that from occurring. There's probably no way to do that.
Yeah.
But it gets hard to deal with. I put a suggestion out there that apparently some people took as condescending. It wasn't meant in that way. For people that, there was some complaints about, well, I work from home. How am I going to work? And, I know a lot of folks that work from home. Our deputy mayor does.
Yeah.
And she has to have, per her company, she has to have a backup source of power in case something like this does happen. So all I suggested was if you're working from home and that's going to be a permanent thing, look into a generator in case something like this happens.
Right.
And oh boy, that caused you're condescending. Who are you to tell us we can't afford that? Whoa! It wasn't meant that way. It was meant to be helpful.
Yeah.
So, but people can take a comment any way they want, I guess.
Well, it looks like the generator comment generated some anger, and that's crazy. I mean, people, they gotta just lighten up a little bit.
Well, yeah. Again, it wasn't made with any intent to offend anyone.
Sure.
It was just a simple suggestion that, if you're working from home and you're worried about that,
have coverage.
Go see if maybe that's something you can do to avoid having to take time off or getting in trouble by your employer. Through no fault of us. It wasn't a village issue.
And how long was so that people know you're municipal power, but everybody else around you, other than Frankfurt and Mohawk, sold their grid, sold their electrical system to National Grid or Niagara Mohawk at the time. So, you're surrounded by National Grid, and that's where your feed comes from.
Correct. We buy, we being the Village of Ilion, and to your point, Frankfurt and Mohawk, there's 51 municipalities in New York State that still own and operate their own low-cost electric utility. And we call that the conglomerate that we have. We purchase power together at a much less expensive rate than the for-profit National Grids, Rochester Gas and Electric, like that. So we purchase power from three different sources: National Grid, New York Power Authority, or NYPA as they're called, or NIMPA, the New York Municipal Power Authority. We purchase power from those various entities at a much lower cost. So they supply us with the power, and then we distribute that power to our ratepayers. So if something were to happen with, like yesterday, National Grid, their supply capabilities went down.
Yeah.
So we didn't have the ability to distribute power on that section of what we get. Now we get power from Niagara Falls, which comes in from the west, but we also have a trunk line that comes in from the east, which feeds the Remington facility. Which ironically,
that line didn't go down.
We all know they're no longer producing, but ironically that factory never lost power.
Wow.
So,
all right. And how long were you out of power, without power?
Went off about 11:30, and we got it back about 7:30. So 8 hours.
Yesterday. Okay. All right, Mayor. We appreciate the update. We do appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Anytime.
All right.
Have a good day.
All right, Mayor.
You have a great day. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Quick break, and then we'll wrap it up here. Or no, you want me to wrap it up completely? Oh, perfect. Let me tell you about. So, just in review, Ilion's power back
on
last night.
100%.
Last night. New York Sash. If you're looking for windows, siding, baths, and doors, or any of the above, then New York Sash is your go-to company. It's their family helping your family. Home improvement experts that you can trust. There are financing options, and they have just done a tremendous job for us. They have putting windows in our home. It's completely changed our energy bill and lowered the energy bill, lowered the amount of sound that's coming from the street into the house. It's just a quality product. They do such a tremendous job. So whether it's windows, siding, bath, or doors, they have you covered. And they never use independent contractors. You're always getting trained craftsmen who are installing the products there in your home. So it's New York Sash. Call them today at 315-624-7344. As we said, there are financing options out there. 315-624-7344 for New York Sash. All right, another beautiful mid-80s day on the way with sunshine. Enjoy your day. News next, top of the hour.
We're your neighbors, friends, and your family. We care about our community, your business, and most important, you.
We support charities like the United Way, McMahon Ryan Child Advocacy Center. We are the members of IBEW Local 43 and Utica Contractors. You don't just see our work, you live it. From the JMA Wireless Dome, hospitals, schools, and city buildings, the IBEW is part of the community.
Central New York's future is bright, and the IBEW Local 43 and NECA will continue to help light, power, and grow Central New York.
Hey Hey everyone, Lisa here from Fit Body Bootcamp in Whitesboro and Clinton. Are you ready to fall back into that fitness routine? As the seasons transform, why not transform your fitness goals too? Here at Fit Body Bootcamp, we can help you create those healthy habits, and yes, our coaches are ready to help you lose the weight for the very last time. What are you waiting for? Join us today for free because we are the best of the best fitness center for 3 years in a row. Call us or find us on Facebook to start your journey.
Whitesboro Central School District is looking for bus drivers to join their team now. Whitesboro is a leading school system in Central New York with 7 schools, 3,100 students, and a 92% graduation rate. You can help drive our students' success. When you drive for Whitesboro, you get pay that's based on your experience, great benefits, a flexible schedule, and summers off. Call Andy at 315-768-9740 or stop by the garage, 20 Wood Road, Whitesboro.
Carl's massive overstock clearance sale. Recliners from $199. Sofa and love seats from $299 each. Bedroom $799 or less. My Carl's New Hartford Shopping Center.
All right, your 9 a.m. code word for your chance to win Keeler's cash is, as I'm pulling it up here, the Keeler cash code for the 9 o'clock hour is 462. 462. Type it into the WIBX 950 mobile app.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
He couldn't have been nicer. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what former President Trump says about his phone call with President Biden after the second assassination attempt.
President Biden expresses relief that former President Trump is safe during a cordial phone call, the White House says. The former president, in a statement, says the two had a very nice call about Secret Service protection. Monday, President Biden told reporters the Secret Service needs help and Congress should respond to their needs.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. While President Biden has condemned political violence, the former president tells X Spaces his rivals are helping make him a target.
Well, there's a lot of rhetoric going on. A lot of people think that the Democrats, when they talk about threat to democracy and all of this, and it seems that both of these people were radical lefts.
The attempt happened while the former president was golfing Sunday in West Palm Beach, Florida. The Secret Service shot at a suspect with a gun who was later captured and now jailed.
More charges could be coming for suspect Ryan Wesley Ruth. He's already facing 2 federal gun charges, which we're told were the fastest to write up and keep him in custody. Phone records show he may have waited for roughly 12 hours near Trump International Golf Course. While the Secret Service says Ruth never got a line of sight to Trump, the tree line at the club had been a point of concern for some time.
Fox's Madeline Rivera. Sean Diddy Combs is expected in federal court the morning after the rapper and music producer was arrested in New York City, where Fox 5's Robert Moses reports from outside the court.
Charges still unknown, but his attorney tells the New York Times that they pertain to sex trafficking and racketeering. Diddy's attorney calls his client imperfect, but not a criminal. He says he's innocent.
Now, Combs has been accused of sexual assault in lawsuits and had some properties raided in a federal trafficking investigation. We just got an update on the economy before an expected interest rate cut tomorrow. It shows we spent slightly more last month. Retail sales rose 0.1%. America's listening to Fox News.
Life takes a toll on our bodies. No way around it. Whether it's sitting hours on end at your computer or working a physical job, over time, your body pays the price. There is, however, an effective way to turn back the clock on pain. Relief Factor. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor helps support your body's response to inflammation. The difference, instead of masking pain, Relief Factor helps eliminate it for good. And it's 100% drug-free. If the pains that come with living a full life are affecting you, do as so many others have. Turn back the clock on pain with Relief Factor. Their 3-week quick start is just $19.95, less than $1 a day. When you feel good, it's amazing how much more you get out of life. So visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Try it for only $19.95. While we can't stop aging, not yet, we can stop pain. Turn back the clock with Relief Factor.
Hi, this is Rob Hilton of Hilton Estate and Elder Law with important information that you should know regarding your estate planning. Specifically, you should have prepared what is known as the Big Three. Basic estate planning is comprised of the three main documents that you need. First is the will, next is the healthcare proxy, and last is the power of attorney. What most people don't know is how important of the three the power of attorney really is, because New York State has no simple method for you to act on another's behalf if they become incapacitated. I am often asked, what is probate and why is it needed? Probate is the act of administering the will through the New York State court system. It requires a filing fee and other actions to be taken, as well as a petition to be filed. It is time-consuming and can